Hi guys, Rando Gamer here with our next session of Adventures of the Standing Bear. This is session 15, which is the next part of the Magi Circle. If you remember, last time we left off with the party having found a cryptic note about a hidden passage on the third floor. So the party kind of investigates that whole sequence, um, finding a little bit darker information up there. And then there's a little bit of a sequence with Cassandra getting a little bit more into her vampiric tendencies that forces the party to expedite their plans a little bit. Overall, some really good RP moments and some decent lore drops for potentially some future campaigns as well as for the Phoenix in general. But if you like the video, make sure to hit that like button. And if you like staying up to date with my content, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I try and get new videos out like this as often as I can. But without further ado, here is session 15 of The Adventures of the Standing Bear.
Shut the fuck up.
The last time we left the Fellowship of the Standing Bear, they had traveled to the furthest northern reaches of the Empire's hold on the land of Plioris itself, to the Magi Circle, and it is a revered school known for creating and producing some of the most powerful wizards and witches that have met the plane of existence. They are known very well for the type of tomes and information that they store in their very large library. And you all had essentially traveled north to find more information on Fia's situation here with the Phoenix and her loss of power, this sort of dullness that's sort of sitting within her. Upon finding out with research, you guys would learn that you'd read lots of lore about Melora and Palor, which are respectively the gods of nature and sun and the light and things like that. Quickly learning that, quickly, I say quickly, it took about 2.5 hours of reading books. But you guys would learn that the Phoenix is has very strong ties to Palor and is very symbolic of himself as a god. Eventually discovering, oh boy, I gotta turn that down. The last one was super quiet. This one was boom beetle dum bum.
Yeah, it kind of surprised me.
We just see blood start coming out of his headphones.
Yeah.
Yeah, nosebleed and my eyes rolled back in my skull. Anyways, you would end up finding a very old book. I think it was a second edition, and it was written mostly in a language that you could not comprehend. The party did, though, try their best to try and wrap their heads around of what this could be, and unluckily, no one was able to sort of identify the language. However, you guys all deduced that it must be at least 5,000 years old. We're talking ancient ass dead languages, and that it was derived from Celestial. During that amount of time, while during all that time, Cassandra spent some time in the library doing some of her own research, trying to find some alchemical angle sort of books that were sort of centered around slaying of very powerful vampires. And she would end up finding a very interesting book that was essentially the journal of what she would discover to be a Cursebringer Ovandris? Oh, it was
It was it was
Ovandrius? No,
yes.
that's not it. Is that it?
That sounds
I
familiar.
feel like I'm so close. I'm so close. I'm so
That's what she
upset
said.
with myself. Because I literally just watched it like 2 hours ago. For right now, I'm gonna say Ovandris. But this was his personal journal, and it's sort of read as like a field guide. And you would find out that like the the higher in power, or the more powerful the vampire, and typically the older the vampire. It's not necessarily 1-to-1 though. But typically, the older the vampire, the more serious the threat, and the harder it is to sort of use practical things to, bam, get him killed. But it was interesting that a vampire was reading the research of a Cursebringer from, I think I said about 100, we'll say about 185 years ago. In addition to that, Cassandra had sort of found a red-haired human nerd who's scrawny as hell, and made him a complete simp. And with her very charismatic tongue, was able to persuade him to fill up a wine-sized flask with blood. Upon agreeing to the request, he was able to sort of fulfill that, and although it was delicious and satisfying, it also very much reminded Cassandra that she is going to need to feed like soon, and sooner rather than later, because it's been some time. In addition to that, the rest of the party went around campus, kind of looking at all the different schoolhouses, and eventually coming upon two different shops, Blasto's Amazo's Emporium and Glizborn's Curiosities and Oddities. By the way, the shop I was talking about the last time, and I was like, oh, what's that place? It's a store in Seattle called Ye Old Curiosity Shop. And it's exactly the vibe that I'm going for. So if y'all want to just do a quick Google search, that'll give you an idea. You don't have to do that. However, when inside, Endless tried to fuck around with some cursed dice, but it eventually ended up deciding to leave it alone, despite Zaphreal telling him to pick them up. However, Throg was unable to sort of hold his hands to himself and ended up eating a cake that shrunk him down 3 times smaller than his average height, and is now what did I say, like shorter than 2 feet tall or something like that, like 3 feet tall.
Yeah, 3 foot.
Yeah, he
feet
was
is
like
what I got written.
he was like 15, so he went down to like 3.
Yeah, so that didn't necessarily go well over with the shopkeep, and though the shopkeep had prompted you to pay, y'all ended up annoying him so much that he had no mission in life than to get you out of his store. And although Zaphreal was trying to be as respectful as he can, trying to ask questions when he could, being shooed out of a store, it makes hard for conversation. And upon getting kicked out of the store for the very first time that you've ever been to in your life, you go across the street to Amazo's and end up actually finding quite a large haul of magical items, and some pretty potent magic items too that have some wild enchantments on them. You would though soon learn that because of, which I forgot to mention, very, very cheap. You could buy a necklace of fireballs for 100 gold. It might blow your head off, but it will still function sometimes. And it's essentially because of this high discrepancy of margin of error. It's because of the students that are here on campus, and it's their sort of way to make some petty cash on the side when they're pursuing their their careers in whatever field of magic they have chosen. Um, Ultimately, the party didn't end up wanting to buy much, and reconvened with the others that were at the library. However, Throg took some time to go back to the ship to sort of continue to have some of his alone time. The party then kind of talked about like what was going to happen if you guys couldn't find. Oh, what I forgot to mention. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but you team hit the books ended up finding out that in that ancient language of a book were some coordinates that you interpreted as coordinates. The system that it's like written in is like extremely foreign. It might as well be alien because so it might take some time to sort of decipher the coordinates here, but it is the coordinates of what you believe to be the temple that is constructed in honor of the Phoenix. Um, in that same book, you ended up finding a little note that was written in a code that had a simple cipher, and once decoded rather, you realize it was a note signed from Sebastian to another student, you presume, Anne, and they were essentially trying to meet up by what they claimed to be some sort of secret entrance by one of the mantles on the third floor, fireplace mantles, that will essentially lead them to a place of the library where much more sensitive information and books that the Urim Empire and the higher up like educational board would like to sort of keep under the rug, so to speak. And that's kind of where we left off. You guys were able to find out that the note, although you weren't able to get like a super exact date, it seemed to be a couple days old, so it's hard to say, but that's where we'll pick up. But I actually want to. Can we get a change of music, Evan? I don't think this one's working for me anymore. But we're going to pick up with the camera sort of trailing around Throg, and like as something comes. We'll say this as the camera kind of trails through, kind of up and behind Grog and up spiraling towards the airship tower. The camera, the screen will sort of do a little side swipe as it shows Throg getting up on the ship. What would you like to do, Throg?
Dog's gonna see if we keep any alcohol on the ship, beer or otherwise, just whatever.
Yeah. So there isn't like a large surplus. Like uh, it's a common misconception that like air sailors. I don't know what the hell I'm going to call them. Airmen. They don't drink as much as an actual sailor, but because they're flying ships in the air, the strong association. So all I'm saying is there is ale and different sort of whiskeys, but like definitely not enough for like a heavy night of drinking. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. He'll pop open a beer too and have some beer, and he'll just kind of take in the scenery and look at all these fucking nerds with their books and their magic just walking around.
Yeah, I'll say that like as you look upon the because I would say the airship, the air tower and stuff is about a half a mile away from campus. I mean, it's technically still on campus, but for most
Yeah.
structures at least. And we're getting to the evening hours around 4 or 5, so some of the sky is sort of getting some of that orange, and it's actually at this point, though you're not necessarily the most perceptive person, you do see that though the sky is relatively clear, there is enough cloud clouds that are producing a slight snow fury amount of snow. But you can see above the entire campus, there is a sort of like invisible bubble that's dissuading the snow to fall completely through the dome. Some of the snow manages to get through, and that's why there is snow on the sides of the road, but you are
Okay.
witnessing why there is not as much snow here on campus as there are literally right on the next mountain peak next to you.
Yeah, he shakes his head looking at this and just nerds.
The camera sort of will pan up with you taking a gulp from your stein, and as we do that motion, it will transition into the next scene here. And Throg, by all means, I don't know what's going to happen next, but if you want to be able to jump in and be like, hey, I want to make my way over, let me know. Okay, so the camera will sort of pan around the group, the standing bear. You're all surrounding a 3.5 foot wide, 12-foot long table. At this point, most of the table is covered in different stacks of books of varying sizes and densities. There are a handful of scrolls that are unrolled, and some have even like fallen onto the floor. There has been a smattering, even there are even like letters that the library keeps that you have been able to like go through. So there is a lot of stuff going on right here right now, and I want to kind of give you guys the floor. Right now, we'll say it's about 5 o'clock, and the amount of people in the library hasn't necessarily changed. You do see new faces, but like it's fair to say that at any given time, there's approximately like 300 or so people in this dome. So it's like, just at the next table, you can see a group of students that are studying, just to give you an idea of how populated it is in here, because it is quite a large dome. So,
Cassandra's gonna push the book that she was reading over to Mhox. And she goes, "Darling, I think you might find the author familiar."
Oh, yes. He was in one of the advanced curriculum. I only took a couple classes that covered his theories, since it was more focused on the demon or infernal subtypes. But those that were interested in undead tended to go to his sort of teachings primarily. So I don't have deep understanding as far as his stuff, but his theory that you've marked here seems to be fairly accurate. From my own experiences, any echelon or tier system for whatever creature you're fighting, the methods that work on the smaller ones tend to be less and less efficient as you go up in tiers. So I guess in your case, we first need to kind of consolidate what tier ambrosia is, so that we make sure we go in with the proper level of potency.
DM, what I know from the years I spent with Ambrosia.
Will you give me a minute to think about that?
Kind of rubs her chin for a second, goes,
Just give me 1 second.
I can roleplay it. We can
No.
like.
Well, no. Just give me 1 second. Don't start.
Do 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 do.
This place is so boring. Fucking off in the distance. I can't read.
When you yell, there are a few couple of birds that are perched on the air tower that have now flown and flown off, and you can hear.
I can only count to 7. I can't even fucking read. It sucks.
Okay. I'm actually looking for some. Oh, okay. So, I'm not going to lie, Dre. The questions you are asking me, I haven't thought of a cool name yet. So what I'm about to do is I'm going to give you my best off the top name,
Go for
um,
it.
and just that may be due to change in the future once I get things more fleshed out. So there are originally, actually, you know what? You would know this, but to what degree? I need you to roll a history check.
Aye, aye,
And
Captain.
because you're a vampire, I'll give you like a +3 on top of whatever you have.
Oh, nice. Make that a 22. In the kind words of a kind king, get fucked.
What was the total?
22.
Okay, so you are very much aware that ambrosia is a very, very, like, when it comes to vampires, is very much respected. And
Okay.
that's because he is feared by many. Uh, he is part of what is considered the Fangs of the Night, and to to put an exact date in time when it started to happen is argued by many academics to this day. Um, but essentially, the Fangs of the Night are there were four of them, and the they were essentially the like first spawn of the vampiric god that lies outside of the realm of our reality.
Okay.
Essentially think the way to think about the Fangs of the Night are like avatars of the god. Like they're not the
Yeah.
they're like an aspect of the god itself.
So she's part of an old bloodline then.
And well, tied to an old
Yeah.
bloodline.
Yeah.
The wording
Okay.
matters. But the only two that come to mind is one, Ambrosia, and two, Resmedreladar.
She kind of looks to Mox in the group as she kind of taps her metallic fingers on the table. She goes, "Have you ever heard of the Things of Night?"
Once again, this is only on the surface level. You think of like in normal schooling, primary school, the core subjects, you get a taste of all of it, but you don't necessarily get into the weeds. So yes, I've heard of them. As far as specifics, I didn't go down that path because at the time it wasn't related to Keswick, so it was not worth the juice at the time. But going back to the Blood Hunter Citadel might give us more in depth because, from what I recall, that is the oldest tier of vampires, which means we're going to need every bit of assistance we can get.
Yes. From my time as his hostage, I've only seen one other vampire that had his respect. All others feared him. And she kind of like leans back in her chair. She looks over at the students for a minute. So, yes, we're dealing with a big one, I believe.
Zaphreal's jaw clenches.
Did you say that to Pia?
She's
We're
talking to
discussing
all
at
of
the
you guys.
table.
I mean, yeah, they're all at the table.
Is this also connected to the same gods that Troxy and Fia are? Like, are they related later in the, or no? Totally different.
I think
Wait,
different
say that one more time?
pantheon, but
It's a vampire pantheon.
Well,
Okay.
so this vamp. Okay, this is part of the details I haven't really fleshed out yet, guys. Didn't realize how soon this might be coming up.
Hey, okay.
You're
so
welcome.
again, placeholder stuff. This vampire god is considered like a mid deity. Like he's not like a lesser deity, but he's not as full fledged and like worshipped enough to be as powerful as, like, for example, Melora or Cord or Paylor.
Sure. He's one of the direct avatars of a vampiric deity, from what I can tell. He was a bit of a show off when he could be. Her fingers tapping a little harder on the table. But I digress. She kind of scratches her brow. When we do head back, I know we need to collect our monthly amount of money, but I would like to visit my old home estate and a temple of the Raven Queen before we do head back to base. If that would be not too much to ask for.
Unless
Zaphreal
Endless
just kinda
has a.
gives-
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Zaphreal just kind of gives a quizzical look to Party.
Unless Endless has some other plans, I think, once we have the information here, unless it's urgent, we'll probably reattack on what our priorities are. But I think following up on this note in the book to see if we can translate these coordinates might be pertinent to the immediate course of action.
I have a meta question related to this.
Shoot.
Locate object.
Okay.
The spell specifically states, describe or name an object that is familiar to you. Now, we are familiar with the book. Does the book's contents, is that included in what that says?
I need you to elaborate.
So, there are missing pages from this research book, right?
Yes.
If I were to use locate object, like, would the pages of that be included within the object?
Some Doctor Strange
Or-
shit. He's making the
or-
pages reappear.
Or is the pages their own object now that they're torn from the book?
How about this? Do you have any fate points?
I do, but I don't think this will particularly like work in this situation because it has a range of 1,000 feet. I mean, because I can definitely try.
And you can definitely try.
Hold on, it's been a long while since I've actually used a fate point. I have two.
It's been a minute. You have two?
I have two.
Okay, great. So yeah, if you use a fate point, I'll allow you to locate the missing pages. Potentially.
Zaphreal, he'll kind of saunterly stroll up towards the book, and to see more clearly within his own headspace, he's going to put his blindfold on to start using his blind sense.
Yes, and as you put the blindfold on, though you have a blindfold on, you close your eyes, and cutting off one of your sensory bits, you begin to cast the spell Locate Object with the holy power of Cord. And
the way that this is cast, like, you don't really see anything, but Zaphreal is sensing within 1,000 feet radius, like sensing like static electricity within objects in that area. It's almost like an echolocation.
So as you see in the dark, it's the only thing that lights up is the book itself, which you know that you're looking for the pages, and you try to extend further, and as you consume the fate point, you watch as you see a light projection of your wife and son as they sort of like are holding hand in hand, and they sort of form into a bead of light that turns into this small orb, and it shoots and arcs across your perception. Because it's so dark, you can't see. But just as it lands, it crashes into light, and as the light subsides, you can see a small sliver about 800. Let me think about this. Actually, hold on. About 450 feet away, above you.
Everyone, follow. I think I found the pages.
She gets up.
Zaphreal bolts into the
Yeah,
direction.
Fia follows.
Same.
You start sprinting in the library?
Blind.
What are they
Just
gonna
for
do?
points, I'm gonna cast fly
Oh my god,
and
guys!
follow Bud.
Guys,
Yeah,
he found some
Zoom in.
pages. The Avengers don't have to assemble.
Can I say Throg burst in the front
Dude, Throg,
Wait.
introduce yourself back into the narrative. You dropped 2 board at the ship, and 2 beers wasn't enough to dull the boredom.
Yeah.
So please explain how you reintroduced yourself.
Throg was walking down the main street, and he could just feel the tingle of a call of action come over him. His Avenger sense activated.
It's like a Spidey sense almost.
And he literally blows through the front doors of this library, whether or not the hinges can handle that.
So yeah, like the hinges can definitely handle it. In fact,
But it's Throgs, but still small.
Yeah, he's 3
Yes,
feet tall, so he
yeah.
headbutts this fucking door, like jumping, like flying into it.
As you burst yourself into the biblioteca, you see that like instantly there's like a handful of clerks that just like drop, and someone actually drops their books, and there's like 5 of them that clatter to the ground, and you just kind of like make a
He
perception
goes,
check.
he goes, shooting his cars.
Go ahead and make a perception check.
Cassandra's gonna stay sitting down as she just washes off.
14.
Okay, despite your small size, it gives you a more centered gravity look of your surroundings. And as you burst through the door and you notice the person drop their books, you look up and you see Fia like shoot it up like a flame and just start flying what looks to be to the 3rd floor, and you see the rest of the party just like running after you. See Zaphreal like bolting, and you see like there's a couple of students that are like a little too sensitive, and they go "Ah!" like as if they're in any danger. And this is your cue to like if you start running now and bolt up these stairs, you'll be able to sort of like meet them at the same time as they're flying to you have no idea where.
Yeah, he 100% start bolting, but he completely ignores the stairs and just starts climbing up the fucking wall or whatever.
Oh, Rod, you're doing so good until that point. Please, okay, I'm not going to make you roll an athletics check because of course you can do it.
I'm 100% down to roll in athletics.
Sure, just do it for our entertainment. But like,
I would love to see what a fail.
like
What?
you may be small,
19.
but like your mass has stayed the same, so you're basically a fucking chimpanzee if you think about it.
Yeah, that's a 19.
Yeah, you climb up successfully with because of your higher check. You do so in such a way that doesn't disturb the books on the shelf. However, you immediately hear the disgruntled, lowered tone shouts of the librarians in the area. But by the time they have the second to like run over to you, you have already jumped off of the bookcase onto another bookcase, King Kong style, then climbed on top of it, and now are running on top of the bookcase, which gives you enough sprinting space to jump towards the top of the second level of the stairs, at which point you can continue running with the fucking rest of the party.
Yeah, he 100% is chimpanzee climbing this bitch.
Sure.
Cassandra just watches this all happen and she's not gonna move. And she just looks over to English and goes, while they're doing that, is it fine if we do a side trip?
Well, what do you have in mind, Cassandra?
I wish to visit home. It's been too long. And I need to visit the Temple of the Raven Queen.
Hey, Dre, I hate to step in this such sort of way, but I feel like I gotta. So, like, I'm not saying that isn't something that you can do.
Oh, I'm just
But-
role playing with English.
I know, but like,
Yeah.
right, I'm not trying to like, entertain that side quest at the moment.
You're good.
Because of like the focus on Fia stuff.
Nope.
But like, if you want to set up that for the future, that's just fine.
That's what I'm doing.
Okay, sorry. I just felt like I had to interject. It sounds like I didn't.
Yeah, no, you're fine. That's just when we go back.
I just thought you were about to like, yeah, I want to leave. So
No.
Okay, my bad.
But only if you have time, English. No.
You know, I can't think of a more exciting adventure.
I want to say exciting, but sure.
Cassandra, I have come to learn very many things, and that's whenever I am near you, something exciting is bound to happen.
Darling, socially, sure,
What,
absolutely.
Cassandra, that wasn't a compliment.
Oh.
Darling, not a compliment.
I'm sure that we can find time at some point to do this.
She kind of nods her head as she just kind of leans back, eyeing the students again.
But first, let's find out what these pages are about.
I'll wait till they come.
DM Mhox would not have gone full sprint, but he would have followed. But he
you're
would have
just,
made
like,
it
walking
under his breath. He would have went, "Well, so much for being inconspicuous." As he's like helping students back up off the ground as they've like fallen.
I picked up their books for him. It's like, sorry. Okay, so just so we're clear, Endless, you go up to catch up back with Mhox. Cassandra, are you sure you want to stay behind?
She'll just say fuck it. She'll explode into a whole bunch of bats. And
Oh my god! Why is that like? I turned into a million bats.
Yeah. she gotta keep up at this point. They're all gone.
I'll say this, Cassandra. How high is your perception?
Oh god, it's pretty high. It's my perception's a +6, but if we're going passive, it's a 16.
Okay, so you notice in your bat form, in your sort of multi-bat form, that across the way, that redhead has like now turned. Granted, he's probably like 70 feet away from you, but he is like watching in awe as you like fly across the library. As again, Mhox, at the people that you begin to help and move on from, begin to scream once more because now, just like 3 feet above their heads, is a swarm of bats now flying through the library. Guys.
She'll take note to that. She'll take note to that kid. But she'll continue.
What's his name again? He was the guy who gave you blood, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't remember his name. Does anybody else remember his name?
He sounds like his name would be like Arthur.
You know what? A retcon is now happening. His name is Arthur. Okay, so the standing bearer has assembled up this staircase, following Zaphreal's lead. Zaphreal, the location of this sliver of the page, like, and granted, in your vision, it's still very much a sliver, and the closer and closer you get, it does get a little bit more transparent. However, you come to a part of the library that at the moment is not being occupied, and essentially think of this as like a, let's say, about 1,000 square foot space that has a mantle and lawned sofas and like sectional type leather couches that all have like the fancy sort of wooden legs that's made from like a dark mahogany, and by this mantle, you can see just on the other side of it, just down like because of the use of your spell, you would know exactly. It's about 65. No, I'll say it's about 85 feet away, beyond the wall. But you're staring at a mantle that's about. We'll say the fireplace is about 8.5 feet wide, and it stretches up about 4 feet tall. And you can see there is like ventilation and like a proper chimney that's been put in place that sort of matches the curvature of the dome. So, what do y'all want to do?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm sensing that these pages are behind the mantle somehow. Is there anything you can do here?
Like behind the fireplace? Am I understanding that there's a fireplace and then a mantle on
Yes.
top of it? Okay.
Yeah.
So
Wait,
they're
wait.
behind fireplace?
So is it behind, or is it like? Am I looking at ashes of pages?
No. It is behind the fireplace.
Okay.
But when you look into like the fireplace itself, it's as solid as any other wall or bookshelf that's here. It's at this point. Well, Mox, were you about to say something?
Zaphreal, are you sure it's behind the wall?
My family guided me.
All right then.
It's here.
All
Mox
right
is
then.
gonna open up into the ethereal plane and walk through the wall.
What?
I have Aether Walk.
Okay. All right, dude. This might be the first time you have used this.
I've used it a couple times, but not for a purpose like this.
Okay, please give us a. So you're going ghost?
Essentially, so like it's kind of like Nightcrawler, where he goes into a different dimension to like teleport. It's similar to that, but I basically like there.
Give us a description. That's what I want to know.
Yeah,
honestly.
so there's like he basically whenever he activates it, there's like a sort of like tear in the air in front of him, and then he just grabs and opens as he walks into it.
Wow. Okay.
And then whatever the ethereal plane looks like, I assume it's kind of like a wispy sort of like blue texture sort of thing.
You've never played WoW before, but for those who have played WoW, when you're walking back to your body, that's what the ethereal realm looks like. For Dawn, basically, the ethereal realm looks just like the prime material plane, except very ghosty, very wispy, very like they're like the corners are not defined on objects that you look at. And as you pop into the ethereal realm, you see the mantle, but because of your sight within this realm, you can see a hallway that extends about, I don't know, 60 feet or so.
Okay.
And your vision starts to fade after that point, but as you walk through the mantle itself, go ahead and make... It's up to you. Do you want to take some time to investigate, or do you want to do a quick perception check for your surroundings?
Either or, because I can exit the rift on the other side.
Well, that's fine, but it's up to you how you choose how to go forward with the ability check.
I think I'll do an investigation since I got a +9 in that one.
Is Fox Cunning still on you?
It should be. It lasts for an hour.
Because like that, I'm gonna say you casted that within the last hour. I'm going to say. So go ahead and make that at advantage. Is that how it works?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. You feel like a strong like exterior presence that's kind of invigorating you with power.
Perfect. That's a 22 with advantage.
Yeah. As you start, because of your dark vision, the immediate surroundings do not impede you. And in fact, now that you can have a better look down the hall, you see that just at the edge of your sight, you can just barely make out what looks to be a door. What it's composed of is hard to tell because of the distance. However, you start tracing the hallway that you're in. We'll say it almost looks like a subway tunnel. So it's like a very high U shape, and the stonework in here is very evocative of the stonework throughout the dome itself. You imagine that this is a false wall that was built around the mantle to allow the space within the dome to conceal a room. And you realize that because right as you trace your finger around one of the pieces of grout in the wall, you notice your fingernail gets caught on something that sticks. And upon closer inspection, you realize that this is most likely the mechanism in which that reveals the door that exits out of this hallway into the library.
Uh, how inconspicuous was it before Mox went through the wall? Was there like a bunch of other students right there, or
No, this particular section of the third floor, you're not sure how the books are organized in this library, but though I said there's about 300 or so people in this library, most of them
Are
are
on
on
the
the
second
first
level?
and second floor. The third floor, you do see across, like diametrically opposite to you on the other side of the dome, a small group of students. And there are some clerks floating from different sections of the library, but you're relatively alone here.
perfect? Mox can activate the mechanism to open the door.
Okay, so you sort of place your hand on the rectangular piece of stone, and it is cold. And as you press it, it sinks in about a half of an inch, and you hear mechanisms in the wall clicking and grinding just for a brief moment. At which point, everybody else on the other side of the wall, you see that there is a just next to the mantle. There is a uh, a, spa- a space of wall about maybe 4 feet from the mantle itself before the bookshelf starts, and it's in this blank space that the false wall opens up to reveal a small corner that will put you into the hallway that Mox is in.
Like a little secret passageway.
Oh, I don't know if this was intentional. The music is now down.
I was cleaning my keyboard and apparently hit a button that closes everything. So give me
Oh,
just a second.
perfect.
You
Uh,
fool!
When you get back into it, I want some more mysterious music. If it's still in the world of library, that's fine, but I need some sort of mysterious tunes right now.
Some spoopy.
Well,
Not necessarily spoopy, but sure, I guess.
That's fair.
normally I'd be all about the investigating and trying to find the hidden latch, but occasionally cheating pays off.
I didn't mean to underestimate you, Mons. Nice. Good work.
I need everybody to roll a stealth check
Ooh.
to see if Mox, you do not have to roll. You are already inside the tunnel.
Oh, nice. I was gonna say,
Yeah, I just need some stealth rolls to see because you guys didn't necessarily say you were going to be sneaky about it. I need to see if you guys didn't noticed going into this passageway.
13.
yeah, good thing I
That's
didn't
a
have to roll. Mine's disadvantage,
14.
and I only have a +2.
14.
Got a nat 20 for
Go Fia.
Wow, you cut out a little bit there, my love.
my laptop hates Discord, guys. But I rolled a nat 20 with a total of 26.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay. What about you, Throg?
Let's see.
-10.
You know what? I'm going to be funny and give you a +1 to your roll because
You're
you're just so small.
That's a 15 then.
Perfect. Okay, so technically 13 was a fail, but because Fia
Ooh.
rolled a nat 20, it's going to carry that failure into a success. So we'll say that Cassandra, um, you weren't necessarily feeling like doing more exploration in the first place, so you kind of were acting a little bit more nonchalant. But before you can make too much noise, Fia, especially with like her background, is able to sort of like catch your attention, make some eye contact, and continue forward, and you guys are able to sort of scoot in, and we'll see that the camera pans over to those group of students I noticed before as they look up right as the door closes, and they didn't know any better.
Engliss also got a 13, but that seems pretty on par for him.
I'll let one fail. The majority of the group passed, especially with the
Endless
nat
went
20.
first and tripped into it.
yeah. Okay, so as you guys walk down this hallway, it is completely dark. For those who don't have dark vision, you will need a source of light. It is extremely dark. And the temperature is probably about approximately 68 degrees. So it's chilly, but not super cold.
I mean, I'm utilizing blind sight, but I'm going to invoke light onto Stormbreaker.
Perfect.
Nice.
As you speak Kord's holy name, you brighten your weapon. This is perfect, Evan. And as you do so, like I described before, the tunnel is who's the tallest one here? I think Zaphreal?
It's probably Zaphreal now.
Yeah.
Zaphreal, at full extension, you can touch the ceiling. So it's approximately, I don't know, we'll say 7.5 feet. And at the end of this hallway, you'll notice that there is a solid gray door. At first, you thought it was like steel or metal or something, but it does not have the same contrast as an iron door would have, and that strikes you with a particular sort of notion. However, as the party, the hallway is just about wide enough for two people to walk shoulder to shoulder. Maybe not next to like Zaphreal though, because he's pretty wide. You do see that every 10 feet in this 60-foot long hallway, that there are sconces that are missing torches. And the only thing that makes this hallway stand out from the door is about 30 feet down on the left. You see that there are what appears to be sort of like, I don't know, like sort of, it's hard to describe. They're like plaques. This plaque is about 3 feet by 1 foot, and it on the plaque, you notice at quick glance there seem to be notable figures related to the Magi Circle in some way, shape, or form. Potentially founders. You get the potential idea. You also notice. Actually, I need everybody. If everyone's interested in the plaque, roll perception. If you're not, it's totally fine. Don't feel bad. But if you are, roll a perception check as you guys are making your way down.
That's a 9. Zaphreal is more focused on ensuring the safety of the party, but he takes a cursory glance.
Engliss got a 17.
Okay.
I'm gonna roll at a disadvantage because Cassandra's not really entirely there.
Sure, by all means.
And it's still good. 18.
Okay.
It's still good.
12.
12. Okay. Anyone else?
Mhox rolled, but he
Yes,
got a 5.
Okay. So, Cassandra and Endless, what did you roll?
18.
18.
18. Yeah. So both of you, you notice on this plaque, you see among all of the names that are listed, one of the names that are listed is Radagast.
Wait, can you repeat that?
So on this plaque, you and Cassandra both notice that you're unsure of necessarily what because like though it is engraved, the lighting, because it's so bright, it's kind of hard to make out. All I'm saying is you get the impression that this plaque may be dedicated to the founders of the Magi Circle, and among the list of names is Radagast.
Cassandra looks over to English and goes, "Don't you know that person?"
Yes. That's all English says to Cassandra.
And eyes you for a minute before she just kind of crosses her arms, looking at the plaque.
Yeah,
In fact-
Cassandra. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
English shoots a glancing eye towards Zaphreal and Fia and Mhox to kind of draw their attention towards that name. Or I guess it's not, his name's not actually there, but kind of draw
No,
their
it
attention.
is.
was.
It's carved into the plaque, implying that he may or may not be a founder.
Which, based off of stuff we got last session, kind of lines up with the school of necromancy that it hasn't been practiced in about 170 years.
Don, you
What
did
did
a
you-
fate point.
What did you find, Endless? Zaphreal doesn't turn to look at you.
English will walk up towards like Zaphreal so that way he can
Yes.
speak into his ear in a very low tone, and he just says, well, according to this plaque, this is something dedicated to
Founders.
Right, yes.
founders.
Of the Magi Circle.
And I'm trying to think of his name.
Radagast.
Radagast. Thank you. I don't know why that slipped my mind as hard as it did.
You're good.
Zaphreal. He stands there for a moment, and you see a bunch of veins in his neck bulge, and he continues walking forward.
English will follow with him.
Endless. I knew we were going to find remnants. Whatever we do, anything related to that man will be eliminated from this plane.
My sentiments exactly.
Since this hallway is hidden, my guess is this is the remnants of the school of necromancy that hasn't been used or publicly used in quite some time. Likely due to what Radagast became and did. So we better be prepared for the worst and hope
From
for the
what we-
best.
From what we learned, Mhox, that research book that we found was checked out, a few weeks ago? The pages are here.
Anything that isn't welcome in public knowledge is likely behind this hidden passage. So whatever is on those pages is related to something that someone doesn't want others to know.
Endless. May I give some advice?
Of course.
I don't think we touch anything in here that we don't need to. We need to make sure that people do not know we have been here. It could ruin everything if there are any other leads related to this building.
Do agree. I'm just thinking the same thing. But you see English kind of like shoot a glance back towards Cassandra.
She just like looks around.
Dude.
English mouths to you, hands in your pockets.
She kind of like rolls her eyes as she just holds her arms even tighter.
TBH, it's times like this. I wish the Standing Bear had access to a rogue. Because this might be difficult for y'all.
At this point, Throg says, "So, what was all the Avenger kerfuffle about? I sensed the danger, and here I am. So,
Christine, proceeding forward. We need a scouting party first. There are several of us that are not great at sneaking around.
Cassandra just nods as she like walks ahead of everyone.
Throg, to answer your question, we found some information that may lead to the Temple of the Phoenix.
don't tell me it's about a stupid book."
All right then. We'll leave you in the dark then.
Oh God, damn it!
I suggest Cassandra, Endless, and Fia go on ahead. I'll make sure that no one else comes from behind.
Let me see. I think I got something for this.
Fia, before you go, Mox is going to reach out and touch your shoulder. Good luck, and I'm going to cast Gift of Alacrity. For the next 8 hours, you can add a 1d8 to your initiative rolls.
I keep
Fulton
forgetting
said-
that I have this.
As he left, that he wants the party to stay together.
Okay, that's fine because I keep forgetting that I have this.
What? Pass without trace?
Yeah, Angelus is gonna cast Pass Without Trace.
I thought I had that because I'm a spy, but apparently I didn't equip that. So that's a little dumb.
From what I understand, it's I think it's a spell that's specific to like druids and rangers.
Rangers. Yep, Rangers.
I don't think that any other class can know it.
DM.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yes, what?
Angelus casts Pass Without Trace.
Oh, that's actually pretty relevant right now. Yeah, what does it look like when you cast it?
So as he, oh God, it's been so long. I've only ever cast this like once.
I have a typical way of describing it, but I want to give you creative license.
All right, you kind of like he does some like Naruto shit with his hands, very
Sure.
silently,
Sure.
and
It's
as
not
he
required,
finishes
though.
like. As he finishes like the final like triangle, yeah, it's 100% awkward. He's just doing this because he doesn't know what else to do. But he finishes with like a triangle, and you see him like squinting his face real hard, and like this misty purple veil just kind of drapes around everybody as long as you stand within each other.
Yeah, you watch standing in this purple veil, the literal shadows being casted off your bodies begin to retreat and cling to yourselves, making you one with the dark.
Zaphreal is
Everybody-
going- Sorry, hold on. Zaphreal is going to put his hand on Motz's head and look him in the eyes. He's going to suck in that power from Cord and replenish him with a different power. I'm going to cast Enhance Ability once more for Cat's Grace. You now have advantage on Dexterity checks as well, which would give you a neutral roll.
Wow,
Perfect.
look at you looking out for
Yeah.
Mox's detriments.
I don't know why that made me roll.
Team player.
You got
Okay.
that I gave Fia a Gift of Alacrity, right?
No, I totally missed that.
Yeah, I must have been right when you stepped out. So I cast Gift of Alacrity, so she has a 1d8 on her initiative rolls for the next 8 hours.
Nice, because dude, Fia always rolling low on the initiative, man.
And while as long as everybody is within my veil, you have a +10 to your stealth checks.
I think everybody else is good. No other disadvantages with stealth.
No, more than good.
Okay, so as you guys approach the end of this hallway, you are met with a solid metal door It's not made of iron or steel or anything like that. It's a material that is not very refractive of the light that's being casted from Zaphreal's weapon. However, upon closer inspection, you don't immediately see like a doorknob or anything. There is a slit in the door that would imply that you could sort of look through it. So a closer investigation check will be needed to see how to get past said door.
Can I sense anything from beyond the door with my blind sense?
You're going to have to tell me what blind sense will let you see or sense.
It's 60 feet. 1 second. Where's that? Blind sight. I can effectively see anything that isn't behind total cover.
Okay, I'll just for the sake of excitement, I will say, not with great detail, but you do notice that on the other side of this wall is a very quaint, few amount of what you think are bookshelves and what look to be like cases of some kind. There is a table. You don't sense any light, though, coming from within the room.
Speaking of which, I dispel my light.
Okay. Mox, you were going to jump in with something.
And then I do next.
Okay.
If you'd like, I have one more Aether walk for the day. I could go through the door, see the immediate other side, and potentially unlock the door from that end if we can't find it on this side. But it would be the last use for the day.
If we can't find a solution, then let's keep that in our back pocket for now. I sense nobody on the other side.
Go ahead, Cassandra.
Cassandra's gonna grab Ingless's arm as she's like, come here. As she like pulls him towards the door. As she takes a quick look through the door.
Hold on. You cannot see through the door.
I thought you said there was a slit.
There is a slit, but it's currently closed.
Oh, I thought you said we were going to see.
Yeah, like I'd imagine like they could open it up and see
like
a
bouncer from the other side.
Yeah. Sorry, I should have been more clear.
She's gonna try to push the door a little bit so she can see. So she can just see.
You put your hand on the door, and it's warmer to the touch than you first were expecting. But you push, and it doesn't give. And in fact, you see towards the corners of the door, a light start to build up. And once it builds for just a little bit, that white light fades into red, which immediately gives you the instinct of, I better let go of this door.
Let's go.
With that information, you find out that this door is trapped.
Throg's gonna ready his cannonball.
Oh, God.
Okay.
I cast silence.
Oh. Okay.
Throg was gonna say for everybody to back up, but everybody just sees him talking nothing.
Yeah, and his cannonball at this point is about the size of a softball.
He's gonna go into a rage and kind of grow in size to large. So he goes back to normal as the biggest he gets.
Right.
And then chucks the cannonball.
Okay, go ahead. Alright, so I know it's just a door, but the material it's made from has not been identified, but this is a very sturdy material, so the AC is quite high, so I still need you to roll for an attack.
That's fine. I'm gonna do it recklessly.
Okay.
34 to hit.
Oh my god. Yeah, that hits.
And since it's a door, it should be double damage since it's a construct.
Go ahead and roll damage.
So
The AC
that's
is high, that's
six.
fine.
That's 6d10 plus 10.
Wow.
Great. It doesn't exist anymore. Oh my god, it's gonna be ridiculous. Oh my
38 damage plus 2d6.
So right as you like sort of swing like a top, and right after the third rotation,
46.
you throw your cannonball. Actually, there's no sound that's made, so it's just like miming. And you throw, and your cannonball slams into the door with such ferocity that you are surprised that once you recall your cannonball back, that there has been about maybe a 5-inch dent into the door that it still stands, but I will say there are around the cracks of the side of the door, you can just barely peer through the other side.
Perfect. I'm gonna grab Inglis's arm again.
Well, hold on. You might
Oh.
not have to do that
Okay.
because Throg is going to continue to throb.
Yeah, I was about to say Throg at this point stretches his arms behind, cracks his entire back, his shoulders, and then his knuckles as
You
he
give him the
starts to
fastball
just
special.
continuously boom, 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 just throwing it.
It's actually probably going to, depending on how much damage you roll, the second hit might do it. Let's see.
Uh, 33 to hit.
Yeah, roll damage. The AC was 20, dude.
6d10 plus 2d6. 43 damage. Oh, plus 10, so 53.
So yeah, Cassandra, right as you're like, oh, perfect, I can see into the room. You grab Endless's scruff by his neck, and you go to start to say the incantation. When right as you turn around, you see a cannonball fly past your head into the door as it like flies into the room. And unfortunately, because of the area of effect, the crashing of where the door lands is not hidden within the spell. And in fact, the door slams into what I had described to Mhox. It was about, we'll say, it was a glass case that contained about, we'll say, 5 books, is now broken, and then glass has shattered all over the floor, and everybody pauses.
Sandra just looked while still holding on to Inglis's like scruff of his shirt. She just like slowly turns her head to look at Grok.
Zaphreal draws Stormbreaker and turns towards where we came.
Perception.
Throg just shrugs at Cassandra.
Throg is going to Throg, Cassandra's going to Cassandra, everybody.
19.
19? Zaphreal, in this moment that you have where everyone is like, fuck, was that loud? Everybody waits there for just a moment. 3 moments. Zaphreal, you perk your ear. You don't hear anything. You might be in the clear.
Zaphreal is just going to motion to the party to move in, and Zaphreal is going to stay watch.
Do you want to just stand in the doorway?
Yeah.
Because I want to describe, as you all enter this room, it magically becomes lit. The color of the light being produced is a very warm yellowish orange color, and it's about a brightness level of 6. It is just light enough to read in here if you needed to. The room itself is approximately about 800 square feet. So it's about maybe the size of a master bedroom plus. And within this room, there are a handful of bookcases that are properly labeled, which I'll get to in a second. Moving on from the bookcases, sorry, I had a brain fart. Moving on from the bookcases, there were originally 3 glass cases that are that stand about hip tall and extend about 8 feet long. And when you look into these 2 other cases, one of them has a series of books in them, 5 to be precise. And then the next glass case, at quick glance, looks like artifacts or things maybe found of old. One of the cases are now broken because of the door that is now laying on it, and it looks like you tried to make the door into a cone shape because of the amount of force that was struck with it. Looking within the collection of books here, the different aisles are labeled as such: Ancient History, Arcana, Pantheon, Destroyers, and Realities of Existence.
And we're gonna go down Pantheons.
Okay, who is interested in what?
Is there like a
realities of existence?
Okay.
is there like a image book section with like less words in it, or like
No,
coloring books?
There's no pop-up books, Throg.
You
Oh, is there like a waiting room section where they have the little toy wire things, where you slide the little blocks up and down on them?
I'll say this, Frog. There's a bunch of old, when you enter this room, it not only smells like a library, but it smells like old, wet books. However, the temperature in here is quite maintained. It sits at a comfortable 74 degrees in here. And the only thing that looks mildly entertaining is in the second to last, not second to last, the second glass case that still stands has a bunch of doodads inside of it that you could potentially take a look at.
Oh yeah, he gives no shits about the books. He's honestly was like,
Yeah.
he was like, this sucks, and then he saw the doodads. He was like, ooh.
Perfect. Okay, Mhox.
Well, I think I missed 2 of them. I got Ancient History, Pantheons, Realities of Existence. What was the other ones?
Arcana and Destroyers.
Before going down any of them, Mhox would look back to Zaphreal. Where does the pages appear to be?
Zaphreal will. It's a 10-minute concentration.
10 minutes?
Yeah.
Set it at time
Oh,
out.
fuck.
Okay.
You know what? No, you ran out of time. I was about to give you a homie drop, but if it's only 10 minutes, so much has happened.
I've lost it. It's in here somewhere.
Okay. Believing if Cassandra's already going down Pantheons, he's going to take the second best option as far as what content he thinks it would be and go down the Ancient History.
Perfect. Fiat, what did you say?
Realities of existence.
Okay. That leaves Endless. Were you interested in looking at any of one of these aisles, or looking at some of the doodads in the glass case with Throg? It's up to you. There's who knows what kind of information is in here.
Right. English will go take a look at the doodads in the glass case, but purely to make sure that Throg doesn't touch anything.
Okay.
Oh, Throg's putting his hands all over that glass.
Like
I'll say one more thing. Right as you go over to Throg, you see Throg is definitely touching the glass and leaving fingerprints on it like a kid at the deli section at the grocery store.
Well, that's a good thing that we are in the side of my veil, because we leave no trace of us.
Yeah, and you see as he leaves the fingerprints, about 8 seconds later, they start to magically sort of dissipate. I will say this though, there are these 5 aisles of books at the end of this room that wasn't immediately within view upon entering. You see a body mirror that's about 3 feet wide and about 5 feet tall, and it is the reflective material of the mirror is encased in what looks to be some sort of platinum, a decorative. I'm thinking of like a Victorian style sort of molding around the mirror itself. And when you look into the mirror, there is a slight shimmer.
Shimmer how? Like, do I
It's
am I
definitely.
do I
I mean, you're not really well versed in the arcane, but you can recognize when something's magical.
Ooh.
And with that, we're going to start at the top of Discord order. Throg, as you're taking a look at this case, go ahead and make an investigation check. Unless if you think the mirror is more interesting.
He was definitely gonna see if there was like if this case opened, like if there was a handle, so he could put his grubby little fingers on items.
frog? No. Bad.
You see that there are hinges on this case, but there is no the case door to it fits seamlessly within the structure itself, and there at first glance is no like apparent like knob or something to like actually open the case. The door will open the case, but as far as like without breaking it, you're not sure.
Do I have a spray bottle in my inventory?
Yeah. So at that point, he just
Spray
grabs
bottle.
his hand. He puts his hand against the right side of the case, and then just pushes it through the glass and breaks the whole case open.
And can I react to this?
Before or after?
Yes.
Before,
Yes.
because I.
Okay.
Or after.
Yeah,
I
you see
found-
Throg put his small but quite still meaty hand on the glass, and he's not quite tall enough to like be taller than the glass, so he has to like reach up to do it, and you can see his muscles starting to flex as if he's trying to break through this glass.
Angus very quickly fumbles around into his satchel and pulls out his water skin and kind of like starts flicking it at Throg as a makeshift spray bottle. And he says, "Throg, these things could get us killed. You don't know what you're messing with. Please stop."
The DM
Neither
hasn't
do
even.
you. And
I'm-
he's not a fucking cat, so he breaks that glass.
I'm asking you as a friend, Throg, please.
We haven't even heard what's in there yet.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what's in there. It could be fucking amazing.
Throg, make an investigation check, and Endless, if you'd like, please make an investigation check.
Oh, jeez, I suck at these.
I know. I
Well,
feel
you
bad,
know what? I'm
Throg.
good at them.
That's an 8.
That's
Okay.
a 24.
24. So in this case, there are an assortment of items, and they're precariously organized and spaced appropriately. There is a small section of this case that contains jewelry. You've done some work for royalty before, and you could recognize that these jewels are
Ooh.
consistent with that sort of level of purity. Inside this case, you also find a handful of instruments that you can only. This is only for Endless,
Ooh.
by the way. Sorry, Throg. You just see some shapes, and they look kind of weird. Endless.
They look shapy.
These tool. It's hard to imagine them being. They're tool shaped, but they're very basic and polygonal. Like think of something like that on like the old PlayStation 1 graphics, like that 16-bit polygonal sort of graphics, and you see something that looks to be like some sort of hammer, some sort of sharpening stone. You don't recognize this material, but Throg, you do see something very interesting. Out of all these items, there seems to be what looks like a silver dagger that's been stained black on the blade, and on the black, silver veins kind of crawl up in a very chaotic sort of manner, and the hilt sort of curls in like a mustache, if you will. And on the pommel of this dagger, It has about a 12-inch blade, so pretty big for daggers. Um,
Yeah.
You see embedded in the pommel a beautiful ruby gem that is
Ooh.
like it almost emits like its own sort of magical light very subtly. You only notice it because your eyes are fixated on it.
Yeah.
But the pommel is wrapped in a silvery material that is slightly reflective, and yeah, that's what
Yeah.
y'all see.
He sees a bunch of shiny things, and he's got a bag of holding to put some shiny things in. So he's going to collect those items.
Okay. Um,
Just sweeps them all into the back.
Yep,
Yeah.
pretty much.
I mean, unless if you can manage a way to open this case, the only way to get into it is by breaking it open.
Yeah, he's doing that.
Loud shit.
Have you ever known me not to be loud? I mean, look at me. As you look down at a 3-foot tall girl.
Yes, but I thought you cared about our safety and our well-being, but apparently I was very mistaken about you.
I do care. I opened a ginormous space whale mouth. So honestly, I don't think any of these little bookworm nerds are gonna do anything to me. And he smashes the glass
Right
open.
as he says that, he just breaks the glass, and everybody who's like pulling a book off of the shelf, and even Zaphreal kind of jumps as you look beyond to see another pile of glass sort of formed on the floor as Throg begins to fill his bag of holding. So,
Oh no, what happened? As he's just throwing shit in the bag of holding.
Yeah, Angelus is looking at everybody like, I tried.
So, Throg, I need you to write this down, because this might be stuff that will need to be examined at a later date to truly ascertain its properties.
Okay.
So, for the time being, you collect a silver magical dagger. You collect 4 ancient tools. And we'll say 2 bracelets and 1 tiara to describe the jewelry that I had mentioned earlier in the glass case. And
Okay.
with that, I will say that we got, please, Cursebringer Mhox. You went down
Ancient history.
ancient history. Okay, go ahead and make an investigation check for me.
It's a 23.
Oh my god. Okay, so as you go perusing, almost immediately you recognize a strong Urim Empire bias. I would say 60% of the text in this section is related to the Urim Empire and the Maltby bloodline. That bloodline essentially was the acknowledged by many to be like the rightful leader of the throne, and has been the leader of the throne for about 650 years. Outside of that, there is a small section that does cater towards Cragmaul's past and history. You immediately imagine that some of these books are well coveted by people of the Cragmaul Kingdom, and may not even know that it's stored away here. You end up finding a similar small section dedicated towards civilizations that sprang up after the age of the Scaled Ones. And because of your high roll, I will say that you also find a book that specifically mentions the Phoenix. You'd have to read it more closely to get more information, but it specifically mentions the Phoenix. And from your brief reading, you're able to ascertain that this is more than likely 4,000 years old. This book, this text that you're reading, it's been excuse me. The text has been since retranslated, so like it's not the original. We'll say it's the second edition, but the book that you're reading is in common, but originally was from about 4,000 years ago, which
Mhox is gonna
lines
hold on
up
to that one.
with the Solarian age.
Yeah, Mhox will hold on to that one to do deep reading,
Perfect.
whether it's
okay.
in this room or somewhere else.
Okay, that's fine, and we can decide that in just a second. But just to cycle through all these books, we got let's see here, Cassandra. You went down pantheons, yes?
Yeah, she's
What are
looking.
what are you looking for in the pantheon section?
She's looking for two things. She's looking for the minor vampiric pantheon, but she's also going to be looking to anything that could reference the Phoenix as well.
Okay, go ahead and roll an investigation check for me, please.
Aye, aye, Capitan.
I'll say this, just to complicate things. If you focus on the vampiric stuff, I'll give you a +5. If not, it's a straight roll.
The vampiric stuff first.
What will Cassandra decide? For herself or for friends?
Oh, guys, let me roll. What can I roll for that real quick? What's a good way to roll?
No, dude, you can only decide the answer.
I heard vampire pretty quickly there. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Oh, like that decision was made in 2 fucking milliseconds.
She did find out one book for them while her homunculi was researching the vampire stuff, so she'll be a little greedy this time. That'd be a 19 then.
Total?
Yep.
Okay, so you end up and I will say this. You look down the pantheon, and there are some mentions of the god that you're looking for. However, it's very quickly that maybe you're in the wrong section. You end up going to the aisle that's labeled Destroyers, and this section is full of different accounts of dictators, people who have committed genocide, gods that have dastardly deeds, like all of like what a society would consider evil is kind of in this section. And you end up finding what specifically about vampires were you looking for? Just the god itself?
The god itself,
Okay,
and if it has
so,
to yeah.
This god was born and you end up finding a book that essentially reads as like a research guide. It's written by a old monk from a couple thousand years ago, and in it talks about some of the dangers that they were dealing with at the time, and one of which was the Fiend of the Night. And it sort of starts to elaborate that around the same time that a mortal woman rose to ascended to godhood, when the Raven Queen was born, was the same exact instance that Grimm came into existence. There was a sort of it was the if the Raven Queen's birth was the pull, the push was the birth of Grimm, Grimme. Grimm has never been seen by a mortal person ever. The only way Grimm is known is through his worship or stories that ancient people would tell their kids to fear in the night and to behave like good little children. Grim is considered a mid deity, which, as far as power scaling goes, is just below an actual god. It's hard to say because Grim is still a god, but because he doesn't have as many worshippers as someone within the actual pantheon, he's kind of capped. But it's very much a threat nonetheless.
Well, and is there more regarding this god? Is that just like the tidbits in that book?
That's all you were able to find with your skill check you just made.
Can I
You'd
use
have
my...
to spend more time to find more.
Yeah, she'll do that. She'll store the book in her bag of holding, but she'll kind of continue to look.
Okay. Moving on, we have Fia. You went down the realities of existence. What are you looking for?
I don't know. I was just kind of curious what realities of existence meant. I kind of felt like that could potentially be what Troxy and Fia are. I don't know. I don't really know what it meant.
Sure, go ahead and make a. I mean, if you want. So, realities of existence, just to give you an idea, if maybe it would change your mind, is going to be things centered around the different planes that there are. So, like the Nine Hells, the Shadowfell, the Feywild, the Fire Plane, the Water Plane, the Air Plane, the Earth Plane, the Outer Planes, like all the other different planes of existence, basically.
I don't think that's going to be helpful, actually. So I'll switch my answer to Pantheon and go a different direction.
Okay.
Then Cassandra went, and I'll specifically look for Melora and Paylor stuff in there.
Okay, go ahead and roll an investigation check.
Damn. He is on a roll today.
What is it?
Is a 20 not natural, and I'm not going to roll on that anymore. I'm just going to use regular dice. It just does not work.
Okay, so with a 20, you start to sort of comb your fingers across the different spines of the tomes that are stored here secretly. And as you pull one out, you see that oh boy. Let me think about something just for like 2 seconds.
Did you say I found something called the Stones of Secrecy?
What now?
Did you...
Oh no! I was just trying to be elaborative of like you were going through the books that were stored away secretly.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I will say that you end up finding a book within this section that specifically references multiple times a person named Callum. And they have been more or less. The evidence in this book points to a speculative answer. It's not quite. They're not quite sure, but this individual is believed to be the first reincarnation of Troxy's life. You also learn of you find text that talks about potential locations to honor the phoenix that they so proudly praise, and you kind of get an idea that it's somewhere within the Meadoff Peaks, which kind of lines up with what you kind of got tailwind of. Outside of that, not much more.
Okay.
With that, moving down the list, we got. Actually, that was all the research. Zaphreal, I need you to make another perception check.
After recoiling from the blast, the second blast of another bookshelf being shattered, he immediately just gets like as alert as possible, and that's a 13.
From all the party members that are sort of reading below their breath or endless quietly reacting wildly towards Throg's actions, it's hard to really block them out despite your blindfold being on. And you peer out with your blind sight, and at least for the moment, you don't see anybody out on the other side, but you don't hear anything.
Zaphreal will perceive backwards just to make sure that everybody is at least occupied. And Zaphriel's going to walk to the other end of the hall to try to perceive beyond the hidden door.
As you get closer, you start to see, with your blind sight, you don't get a lot of detail. However, you do notice that there are a group of hooded individuals that are wearing similar colored robes that the clerks do. However, they have a mantelpiece that is solid yellow that hangs down over the shoulders, over the chest, and covering most of the upper torso. There's approximately 6 of them, and they're coming up the stairs around the bend to come towards this mantle that you guys got behind. Approximately, you have about 2 minutes.
Zaphriel is going to use Peerless Athlete and in an instant just more or less teleport to the rest of the group.
You all see Zaphriel appear suddenly within the space, looking concerned as he takes his blindfold off.
2 minutes. Less than that. We've got to go.
What is it you see?
Hooded individuals all headed this way, 6 of them.
Interesting. I found a mirror.
Fabulous. Take what you found. I know what I said earlier. If you need more time researching, take your books. Let's go.
Yeah, let's take the mirror.
Oh my
Perfect.
god!
You see Engless activate haste as he dashes up to the mirror, grabs it off the wall, and then dashes back.
Hold on, before you go to try and pull it off the wall, and it is affixed to the wall. However, when your thumb meets contact, you see you know that part. Riley won't get this reference, but you know in the Matrix when Neo touches the glass and it ripples and then it like
Yeah.
travels up his finger. So you see the mirror start to reflect almost like mercury as it creates waves from just touching the mirror, and you realize your thumb sinks about 1.5 inches into the mirror before you pull it out.
Is my hand okay?
Yes. And of course, you're processing this at ultimate hasted speed in your head.
Mhox, Fia, do you have anything to get us out?
I might be able to extend the Aether Walk across the whole party, but that would be a feat I've never attempted. I've only ever tried with one other individual.
Got too many to risk. Fia, anything for you?
I don't think so. I'm looking at my thing, but it's my stuff doesn't work if I'm looking at my character sheet and trying to talk in Discord. So
We have 2 options. Stay here. What did you find?
Zaphriel, I think this mirror is a teleport. of some kind. Look, as English puts his hand in it.
And it ripples just like I described earlier. And on the other side, your hand does feel a little bit cold, but it goes through and phases completely. And eventually, the mirror comes to a standstill, and it's kind of odd seeing Endless's hand through it.
Endless. If you believe this is a teleport, grab my arm.
English grabs Zaphreal's arm and he says, like my father always said, Leroy Jenkins.
Oh my god.
Zaphreal holds his arm clasped tight and does not enter the mirror with him.
Endless. You shift your body through, and immediately, being in a room that was about 74 degrees, you immediately see your breath. And the space around you is dark, though with your dark vision, you do notice that you appear to be in another room. And the mirror that you're stepping out of is not located behind you. When you look behind you, you can see that it's just a straight up brick wall, and Zaphreal's arm is sticking out of it, holding onto your scruff.
Oh.
Zaphreal yanks back.
Ugh, I feel like we should go through the mirror. Everybody in the mirror.
Zaphreal will wait to usher everyone through.
Mirror, here I go.
And one by one, Scooby Gang style, everybody files into this mysterious room. And that's where we're going to take a quick, we'll call it a little break. We're going to come back at 9:42. So, also, Evan, this might be the apex of favorite parts music. If you want to try and find stuff that's like in that category, I think that's where you should.
So elevator music, because that's what it was.
Yeah, I guess that was perfect. I don't know. I think it was lovely.
It kind of
Okay.
reminds me of the Miiverse.
Yeah,
I'm
me,
glad-
yeah.
All right, so boom, 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 boom. You watch as, for those who are perceptive enough, will notice as each goodness gracious. My wife's trying to do a thing right now. That's our new
Aww.
Kitty.
But she put up the puppy gate, so now what's going to happen is
Oh.
whining. I don't know if you can already hear that.
We can hear.
It's okay.
What did you decide on the name real fast?
Guillermo.
Oh, nice.
Yes,
Yeah, on your camera.
I like that.
It's all right. Just keep going.
All right.
Yeah, go for it.
So, for those who are perceptive enough, you see that the brick wall sort of has a like water-like ripple in it, and as the last member comes through, which we'll say is Endless.
Probably.
Wait, no, you were the first one through.
Yeah,
Zaph
I would
said he
say
was gonna
probably
wait till
Zaph would be the last one.
Zaph. Okay, yeah, right. Sorry, Zaph. You make your way through it. The wall becomes thick, and once the rippling has stopped, for those who touch it, it is solid.
Oh. Oh.
Can I do one thing before I step through?
Yeah, go ahead.
Zaphreal just says thank you, and then walks through, referring to his family's help.
Oh.
And as you step through and immediately feel the shift of temperature change, you just hear the like very, very quiet, distant laughter of a small child.
Oh.
Cassandra's gonna kind of hiss, in frustration. Damn it! Why were you so noisy, Throg? We needed more time.
I don't know. I just kind of wanted to.
In Throg's defense, they weren't coming to us in a hurry. I feel like if they knew something was happening in here, that they would have been more expeditious.
She just squints her eyes and hisses again in frustration, and she just kind of
I
walks
do
away.
agree, though. That was unnecessary, Throg.
Well, I couldn't find the handle on the glass. I mean, it just had to happen.
Go ahead, Mox.
In either case, I think we're on a ticking clock to explore
Agreed.
this room and find another exit. Because if they knew that room existed, they certainly know this room exists.
Yeah, I was gonna say, have you described what this room that we're in looks
I
like
have
yet?
not. So let me take the opportunity. You guys are in a room that is about 3/4 the size of the last room. So we're talking about 550, almost 600 square feet. There is a single line of bookshelf that extends the entire length of the wall. On the opposite side of the room is a table that, upon which, stacked neatly in a pyramid-like formation on top of each other, is approximately 24 scroll tube things. You know what I'm talking about, like those tubes that have the
Yeah.
scrolls in them. Next to that table is a large book that has a list of names, and this seems to be some sort of sign-in or something to that regard. The most fascinating thing in this room, though, on the left side. Oh, I forgot to mention the bookcase that stretches to the length of the wall of the room. That's approximately 20 feet long, and at the end of the bookcase is a wooden door that is finely crafted and well maintained, and has, even with the low light in here that you can see, has a nice finish. Everybody's interpretation of this room is such: there is not a lick of dust in here, and in fact, everything is very orderly. There is nothing out of place. Even stacks of paper on that table next to the scrolls that are concealed in the tubes are very neatly stacked. And it's at this point everyone gazes to the left. The whole left of side of the room is a small stage that is, we'll call it maybe a small podium that's about 6 inches off the floor and is approximately 8.5, 10 feet long. And in the middle of it, you see illuminated very, very subtly from above a robotic form. It stands approximately average height, we'll say about 5'12". With
5'12" would be 6 feet.
5'12". What did I say? Oh, I meant to say 5'10". My bad. 5'10". It is slim, and not to suggest that it's not complex, but the parts that are visible, it seems to be like it has a torso, legs, arms, but all the intricacies are hidden, much like how I'd imagine like the iPhones are. Like it's very sleek in design. It has a goldishy bronze color to it, and just by looking at it, it probably weighs around 300 pounds, and is currently standing there. What would you guys like to do?
Cassandra's gonna look to see where the fuck they are.
Just walk out like nothing happened. Like we're supposed to be here for sure.
Do you wanna peek your head out the door from this room?
Yeah, but may I roll stealth on that?
Yeah, go ahead and roll a stealth check. Go ahead, make sure you add +10 to it because of pass without trace.
15,
And-
25.
Okay. You very quietly The hinges on this door are well maintained, so it's rather silent. But just in case, you sort of apply a subtle pressure to the door, opposing your opening it. And as you peek your head out, you can see that there is a stone staircase that matches the same stonework from the room prior. And it's a spiral staircase that sort of starts to wind up. And right now, there is one torch on a sconce currently lit at the bottom of the staircase. You cannot see beyond that.
She's gonna swipe the top of the torch off to cut the lights, just in case.
Okay.
So she can see in darkness, and she's gonna head up the stairs swiftly, but very quietly.
Okay. I'm going to come back to you in just a second. Everybody else, you see Cassandra start to quietly and strategically look out the door to ascertain where you guys are. Proceeds to snuff the torch outside of the hall, at which point everybody who is looking can see that there is a stone spiral staircase that starts to go up just outside of this room. At which point you see Cassandra start to sort of stealthily walk up the stairs. Everybody else, what would you like to do?
So is that by the door, by the bookshelf over there? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not sure if this would be a part of a history check or not. I'm going to examine this robotic figure. I specifically not touching it.
Do you want to get up on the stage and get a really close look?
If I'm unable to discern anything from a glance at the off of the stage, then yes.
I'll just say this, Zaphreal. You can, the closer you get, the lower the DC will be to ascertain stuff.
First, I would like to look for traps on the stage.
Investigation check. Also, is anybody else interested in this effort? Because y'all can join Zaphreal.
Yeah, I would say Mhox is helping. While the robotic life form doesn't seem to be an active threat, Mhox would be concerned that it's just innate at the moment, but could activate at any time.
It seems like a dormant threat. So you're assisting me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
English will also assist.
Okay,
Well,
go
I
ahead
rolled-
and add a +2 to that roll as well.
I rolled the same thing, but with the +2, that's 12.
You get up onto the stage, accompanied by Endless and Mhox, as you all begin to sort of take a closer look. And you notice at the base of the neck here, close to the nape, you notice that there is a peculiar rectangular piece of material sticking out of the nape.
Is there any traces of... have I heard of anything of this type of construction before?
Make a Arcana or History check.
15.
For what?
History.
It's a common practice for high-level mages to create constructs to handle the unfun parts of being a person who has to collect spell components and the right ritual things. So constructs are something that you're definitely familiar with. What appears before you looks extremely more complicated than some sort of magically created construct.
This appears to be wouldn't necessarily say a golem. Maybe something much more complex.
Mhm.
I don't know enough to ensure that this will not follow. But I don't believe that it will cause us immediate threat, but we've got to leave soon.
DM, would the book that Mox grabbed on ancient histories when he was perusing it, would it had anything related to this? He hasn't had a deep dive yet, so it'd be anything that he would have caught surface level.
There are many things that the Solarian Empire is known for. Many things. One of which, it is a technology and magical mystery that has been unsolvable since its later discovery, but somehow the Solarian Empire not only were able to create robotic constructs, but also give them essentially the equivalent of a soul.
Zaphreal, I tend to agree. The little bit I've learned is the Solaris Empire was way more advanced than anything that's come after them. This is likely a construct from their time period, and they're researching on how to use it. If it's dormant, it means they probably haven't managed to unlock it, and I think we leave it as is for the moment.
To ensure that we are not followed, as they'll know that we came into this mirror. Should we cast a fog cloud before we exit this room?
I say we
That's
just
a good
stop
idea.
waiting around and get the fuck out of here.
At which point, Endless, you see them talking, and I'll say because you were assisting him, you have a very clear angle of what looks to be like some sort of rectangular. It's about maybe an inch wide, sticking out from the base of the neck, and it, at first glance, seems to be a slot that can be manipulated.
Wait, what I see? What do I see this on?
Okay, guys. In a meta way, I'm trying to be like, like mysterious about it without being like upfront. Essentially, what you're looking at is like an SD card ejected out of the base of the neck of this robotic statue.
Huh.
And yeah, so I've just been,
Yeah, I caught that.
Okay,
Zaphreal
okay.
specifically didn't grab it because he doesn't know enough about it.
No, I know. I was just bringing up the Endless because he was also part of the scene, and I was just giving him a chance
And he
to
might
do his
press the
thing.
button.
And he might take it or press it.
It could be useful.
It could be reverse engineered.
Those are a lot of big words for English.
Oh, Throg didn't say that. He would have no ability to.
Zaphreal, I, I, I'm more than willing to reach up and grab that if you think it's a good idea. What if it could be information? I don't know what it is.
In
It could be
case-
something.
If this thing activates, if we take that out, let me take it, but we need to get out of here.
I agree, but I don't feel like we should be leaving empty-handed.
I will follow your lead. If you wish me to take it, I will, but we need to go.
Just have my back. English reaches up and grabs it.
Oh. Okay, so Endless, you reach around the torso of this figure, and as your hand meets the base of the neck, your finger touches this chip, and you feel it give. And as you sort of press on it with your fingers, you can feel spraying subtle sort of white light, and you just hear
English screams and pushes it over.
And right as you go to push, it like grabs your wrist right before you touch it. And at which point its eyes are completely lit, and the sound of this booting up, if you will, has subsided. At which point the hand releases, and the robot. I'm not going to call it a robot anymore. This figure is starting to speak in a language that none of you understand.
Are we?
He's endless. He looks straight at you in the eyes, and this gentleman looks very confused and is trying to speak to you in a language that you do not understand.
English uses all languages that he understands, that he knows, and starts like trying. He's like, "Hello, but can you understand me?" But he says it in Abyssal, then Common, then Deep Speech, then Draconic, then Elvish, and then Infernal.
You just
Oh my
see
God.
every time you say something in a language, you can understand. You get the impression that he understands you, but you do not understand him. Like every time you say something in Abyssal, he nods his head, and he's like, so he continues to speak. He looks confused and more worried. Looks over at Mhox.
It's a protocol droid.
Sorry, we do not speak Solarian. Do you know any other languages?
He just like you can see some internal processing happening.
I thought we'd take him with us.
Yeah, can we
Adoption.
you come with us? We GTFO comprendo.
Make a persuasion check for me, and does anyone? This feels like a group thing, but does anyone want to try to assist?
It doesn't seem like you are being kept here with your will in mind.
Hold that thought. And
Ooh.
That'd be an 18.
I was trying to assist.
Oh, okay. Go ahead and roll again just to see if you get higher.
No, that would be an 18.
This robotic form kind of looks at you. Although he does not understand what you are saying, he can very much understand your body language at the moment. And you just hear him go, home. And he just like takes one step forward, and you can hear some like joints moving in a form that has who knows how long has been stationary. And after a first couple of steps, you just hear him go, home. And he steps off of the platform and like looks at the rest of the group.
Guys, I think he wants to come home with us.
Or at the very least, leave this room and return to his home, which is somewhere else. In either case, I think we need to depart and make our way out of here. Hopefully, the stairway is our best option.
I agree.
Yeah.
You're very quickly becoming an offending party. We need to leave now.
Yes, I also agree. I did not mean for this to take that long, as English like about faces and heads towards the stairs.
Right as that happens, there's going to be a couple quick time things that happen that y'all are not going to be able to interact with at this point until we resolve. So, first of all, I just want to quickly establish where Cassandra is at, and we'll join the party. Cassandra, you go up the stairs. You make about 4.5 rotations as you keep count. And as you come up to the top of these stairs, there is another similar fine finished wooden door that matches identically to the one at the bottom of the staircase. Because didn't you roll like a 25 on stealth?
Yes.
I'll say this. You are able to open the door just enough to realize that unknowingly there are two scribes or clerks. They're wearing different attire than the people that were in the library, but you get the impression you're still within the Magi circle. But they are standing just outside of the door, about 2 feet on either side, and yeah, you're able to sort of like close the door again slightly, just enough so you are not noticed. What would you like to do?
How far out can I see with that door when I open that door?
I'm only giving you the immediate entrance out into that hallway. You know it's a hallway. You weren't able to see to either end, just immediately to the other side of the hallway.
She's going to use she's gonna look at each of them, or no, she'll look at one of them. She's gonna channel her holy power to whisper a command to that person.
Okay.
And she just goes,
Wait, are you casting command?
yeah. But
What's your command word?
Go on patrol. And she whispers that.
Hold on. This is the catchy part though, because command can only be a one-word command.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the tricky part. But you can still get creative.
What's that one word for like taking a break?
Nap.
Rest.
At ease.
Sleep.
No, I need him to take the other person away, like to go on a break with your work buddy.
I don't know, dude.
Alonzi.
Siesta.
I mean, it's like a
Wow.
Retreat.
Leave. You could just say leave.
Molly, blow. Like,
I mean,
Bathroom. Like, something.
But she's trying to get him to take this other person as well, so it's not just.
Yeah, 1 second. I
you
think.
might, okay, I'm gonna give you just a few moments.
Ooh, I got it.
Okay.
She just says, escort.
Escort. Okay, I could see that, I guess.
menage a trois.
I'm point.
Okay, so
You're
that's
the guy.
that's a wisdom save, right?
20. And she's saying it quietly, like as she just looks at them, trying to inflict her will upon them.
You watch as there is no visual cue, but within yourself, you know that the command has been taken, and just a few moments later, he just goes, "Hey, do you care if I take you to go get some water?" And the female next to him, they're hooded, their faces are kind of like hidden. What? What do you mean? Do you want me to take you to get some water? She's like, well, hold on, I'm gonna fucking roll. I'm gonna roll for this. This is so stupid.
Roll for a persuasion check on your own NPCs.
Yeah. Okay. That wasn't shitty enough to call it a fail, so I'll just say this. The female companion looks over to him. Look, if you just need a smoke, you just had to ask, alright? And she like walks off the some direction, and this chap follows after.
Nice. Wouldn't call him Rizzler.
At which point, you hear very quietly. In fact, I need another round of stealth checks.
I'm actually decent at those.
Guess what? It's not that compelling. It's so stupid.
Basically said, yeah, you're not very flirtatious, but okay.
You need me to do a stealth check?
22.
19 for Mox.
32.
As long as you're still within me, so you get that added plus 10.
Oh, 32.
Remember, Mox, you're not rolling at disadvantage.
Yeah, I rolled it at advantage. I fucked that up. So it was 28, so it's a plus 10.
Okay.
I got a 21.
I just got my first nat 20 for the night.
Congrats.
For a
With
total
boys.
of-
With the plus 10, it'll be a total of 38.
Wow.
Damn.
Wait. So not only does the in fact, I'm gonna roll.
I was gonna say
for,
the robot or
I'm
the,
gonna roll
the
for-
construct.
Yeah, the construct here. With the bonus, that makes it a 22. So not bad. In fact, it's just good enough. Cassandra, you are a creature of the night, and how lovely is it to be greeted unknowingly by you at first, with the rest of your party coming up the stairs, just as silent as you were. Just after the robed guards, I guess you could call them, had left.
Cassandra will look back at them with some impressed, but her eyes are starting to look a little more like a wolf's eyes at night as she looks at them. Just kind of.
I also like to think that maybe they've turned a little bit more yellow looking.
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah, and her irises have actually kind of turned white instead of black.
Sure.
And she kind of looks at them. She goes, "Look at you in my realm doing well." And she kind of opens the door and goes out.
Okay, so Cassandra, would you like to take the lead on getting your party out of wherever the fuck you are? Or do you
Yes.
want someone else to take the lead?
She'll take the lead.
Okay. I need you to roll a investigation or or survival. That could count.
And I'm gonna use my inspiration to roll at advantage.
Okay.
Oh my god, are you shitting me? Are you absolute shitting me? 1 and then 2.
You rolled a 1 and then 2?
Yeah.
So 2 total?
Well, no, I rolled a 1 the first time, a nat 1. So I used my inspiration to roll again, and I rolled a 2.
For a total of 2?
Total of 4.
So, Cassandra, you lead your party down to the right. The direction of the direction of the people that you sent away. And Cassandra, in this moment, you've been so strong, and you've been strong as long as you've been part of the team. But it's in this moment, after having the delectable virgin blood of the redhead from earlier, you're reminded of how hungry you are. And in this moment, instead of looking for escape, you look for food.
Ooh, okay.
And as you crawl and creep your way down the hallway with your party following after you, blending in with the shadows as you move along, you can see just a little bit further down the hall the same 2 figures you had manipulated earlier, but now their hoods are exposed. Both humans, approximately around the age of 35. And it's in this moment, I need you to roll a wisdom saving throw.
Can I see this intent?
No. At this moment, you're following her lead.
29.
You take 2 more steps forward, and your breath starts to get very heavy and hot. And you bare your fangs with your top lip being folded back. And right as you gaze upon your prey, you just think of the hot red liquid that you could consume. Just like that. They'd be dead in an instant. But it's at this point you realize you need to get the fuck out of here. As you look back over your shoulder, the rest of the party sort of sitting in wait for your movement. And you realize now that you've sort of had this clarity of away from your hunger for blood. You look down just the way, and there is a small staircase that goes up to what is most definitely the outside world. You can see windows that are being painted with dark reds and oranges, because at this amount of time, we're saying the sun is setting.
The sun is starting to descend.
Yes.
So we're outside now.
No.
Oh, okay.
Like, you basically stop yourself from about to like fucking go blood frenzy, and you in that moment notice the other direction at the other end of this hall is an exit to the outside world.
She looks at them and she looks back at the two as her hands are kind of shaking. She wipes the drool off from her mouth before she quickly and silently runs the other way.
At which point, I will let Zaphreal only, because he's the only one who asked, roll an insight check.
Ooh.
What's your level? What you guys are level what? 16?
16.
Yeah.
Okay.
Currently, yes.
I just rolled a 9.
Zaphreal, I really wish you would have rolled better, man. You do notice that Cassandra seems harried, but you interpret this behavior as her realizing that the way she just picked was the wrong direction. Especially because she quickly and swiftly turns back the other way.
Zaphreal decides not to say anything and follows her lead.
So, I need one more stealth check from the group. This is the last one. This is the last stretch. Because right as everybody starts to turn around, you can hear the muffled, sort of murmured conversation that the two are having at the water cooler right now. And from the way that they're talking, you get the impression that they're going to be returning to post. So you all need to move fast, but quietly.
I roll a 24, but with pass without trace, it's a 34.
Great, the DC is 25.
Good.
Oh,
I
he's got a
also got
21.
I got a 37.
Okay. Zaph and Throg?
32. Or are we re-rolling another stealth?
Yeah, this is a reroll. Because they're having to move faster now.
That is
28.
30.
Okay. As you guys run down the hallways, the shadows literally start to cling to you, really adding into the idea that you guys are moving very quickly without being unseen. As you very quietly but quickly exit this building, you notice that as you make your way out onto the cobbled street, out in the distance, the sun has just started to set past the highest peak behind the Magi Circle, and y'all have probably about 45 or 50 minutes or so of ambient light before it is nighttime. And as you are sort of like, you hastily make your way out to the street and try to make some distance from the building that you just left from. But as you get a greater understanding of your surroundings, you notice that those two shops that half the group had met earlier is just coming up around the bend, and the building you're leaving from would have been the old necromantic school of magic, but has since been turned into essentially like, you know, a lot of the student stores and resources slash, you know, paperwork, all that stuff is done in that building.
Cassandra is going to. She's just going to about saying words to anyone. She's just heading back to the ship, and she is moving pretty quick.
Does everybody want to get back to the ship at this moment? You Also, I want to be very, very clear. They're at this, because I'm generous and you guys rolled good stealth checks. At this moment, there is no one around to immediately see, but you have a centuries-old robot traveling in your party with you right now.
Yeah, I think Box would be trying to make sure, at a minimum, the shit we took makes it to the ship before doing anything else.
Yeah, for
I,
sure.
I call out through my empathic link, Paladin, into the ship. And Zaphreal starts heading off the direction.
Okay, are we still trying to be stealthy?
How much longer do we have on Pass Without Trace? That's a
I'd
10-minute,
I'd,
right?
No, it's an hour. I would say you have about 45 minutes left, and to move at a stealthy pace, that should be just enough time to get back to the airship without being detected if successful.
Cassandra's
Yeah.
going to put haste on herself, as she's just basically going to flash step away from everyone, heading straight towards the ship at
Does
full speed.
anybody else want a turbo boost with with Cassandra, or is everybody else?
I mean, I can keep up. Fia, do you have invisibility prepared?
While she's perusing that, Mox would be taking the moving with a purpose, but also not trying to call attention by sprinting through the streets. So he's actually trying to blend in more so than necessarily get there with haste.
Okay. All right. So, she doesn't have invisibility.
Dog's gonna run some interference and cause a distraction, on another street or something. He hates this city so much. He doesn't care if he gets banned. He's just gonna find a local cabbage merchant and just fucking destroy his. You know,
Okay.
not harm anybody, but definitely just cause you know.
Okay. Okay. Sure. All right. So what I need is everybody to roll a stealth check. Cassandra, you do not get to roll a stealth check because you are speed blitzing through the campus.
I'm going to go with Cassandra.
Yeah. English would also go with Cassandra with haste.
I can keep up. I can keep up with them without haste.
Oh my god!
Yeah, Zaphreal is fucking quick, isn't he?
Okay, so, all right, everybody else. I'm gonna handle stealth team first. Fia. Wait, is it just Fia? Oh, Fia and Robot.
The poor Fia.
Fia,
Wait,
Robot,
it
Mox.
wasn't even my idea to take the robot.
And
Guys,
Mox.
no,
Sorry.
no, no.
And Mox. Sorry. I forgot about Mox. I'm sorry.
What
about Throg?
And the two of
Throg is intentionally
Throg
destroying
is doing
shit.
his own thing. Yeah. We'll see. What
Not
happens
destroying,
there.
just causing a distraction.
By destroying.
Okay.
No, I was gonna get to my bit. I had a whole thing.
We'll get to you. So, Fia, Mox, stealth checks. Unfortunately, you do not get the +10 bonus.
Oh boy. Well, I almost want to dip then because it wasn't my idea to take the robot.
Maybe it's a better
Well,
idea that Endless stays with the stealth crew.
I think we've already made the
No.
call.
No, we've already made the call. This
Okay.
is what's happening.
Okay.
Yeah, the leader has spoken.
Yeah, English didn't even think about it. He just turned blue like Sonic and was off.
So,
Whose
Mox,
idea was it to take the robot? Because now I say we set robot
Poor
free to go
Fia.
to his actual home.
She's like, I might just
It-
fucking
it
leave
was
her.
the leader
I want
that
to
made
have the
call.
robot. I think it's cool.
I mean, your faithful leader has definitely kind of made that call, kind of on.
Yeah, no, Endless did make the call that this is going to be a thing. So, Mox, were you trying to say something?
Oh yeah, Mox and this robot are fucking blatantly obvious. I rolled a 5.
Oh
Do
boy.
do do
Okay,
do do do.
Fia, what about you?
Okay, so
Oh my god! You can come look to verify, but I just rolled stealth for Mr. Robot here. And I literally just
Yeah, I was
rolled
gonna
a
say.
nat 20.
I mean, we keep calling him a robot. He's a construct, so like he might not look as
He's
obvious.
a construct, sorry.
He might not look quite as obvious
Right.
as a standout to the public.
Okay, Sophia, what did you roll?
Oh man, I was
I
thinking
didn't
like a
roll because I'm still
glimmer
deciding
thing, you
if I
know?
just want to cast fly and get out of here.
You-
Oh
But
my
I
god!
You can cast fly on multiple targets.
Oh,
Yeah, I can, but I don't know. So is this character, robot, whatever he is, big? Like,
He's a
about
normal humanoid.
5'10". Normal human-sized robot.
okay, all right.
Or
Gosh,
construct.
I have a bone to pick with English.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you fucking do.
So go ahead. Tell me what that stealth check was.
I'm gonna cast fly on all of us, so it's not gonna be relevant.
Oh,
easy.
okay.
We all fail because
Yeah,
now we're
I
flying
swear.
through the city.
I'm not gonna... Hold on. I'm gonna say this. I'm still gonna call for a stealth check, but because you're flying and it's almost nighttime, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt and lower the DC just a little bit more. So I still need stealth checks from you, Fia.
This is so fucking funny.
'Cause-
If you fly, if she flies close enough to me, does she still get
No,
the
Jesus.
you guys got the turbo boost at the start of the race in Mario Kart.
17.
Okay, you know what? 17 and this nat 20 is enough to
Fucking
compensate for Mox's poor ass.
It mocks the
Superman.
fucking fly spell hits him, and he's like fucking tumbling through the air as we're like taking off because he wasn't ready for
Yeah,
it.
like fuck, you're not like ready. You're also maybe not that like.
Because he was
moving
like
up the
slowing
whole
down to
flying
like
thing.
kind of like nonchalantly walk through the crowd, and then half the party fucking just takes off sprinting. Throg goes down a different street, causing chaos, and then Fia's like, "Let's just fucking fly now."
So, right as you guys fly through the city, you stick far away from the dome, just to avoid like immediate like suspicion, and over the next, we'll say, 15 minutes, you are very quickly and stealthily able to fly to the ship and successfully make it to home base. Now, we're going to move on to Throg. Throg, what exactly do you want to do? Because here's the thing. I want you to continue to do what you're going to do. I just want to let you know, although people are investigating and coming after you, so far there's no one on your tail. So I would advise to be careful on exactly what kind of attention you want to bring to yourself right now.
Gotcha. Okay. Given that new information that there literally is nobody currently like on our ass, he probably will make his way towards the airship and keep an eye out. And if there is anybody, he'll cause a commotion.
Sure. And Throg, you have, like, you're not necessarily the most stealthiest person, but you're better than Mox. And being so small. Sorry, Mox. I don't know why I decided tonight was a session.
It's my armor that's giving me the disadvantage.
I mean, I'm decently stealthy.
Anyways, because of your small form, you're able to sort of move stealthily and rather quickly through this environment in such ways that you just weren't able to before, being such a hulking beast. And we'll say about 10 minutes after 10 minutes after Team Robot, Construct, made it to the airship, you then make it back. So now, we go to the next tier. as you guys begin running and speeding through the town, the campus, you are able, more or less, to go through certain, go around the schools of magic and throughout the way in such a way. I guess what I'm trying to say is it's possible to move very quickly through the space without relatively being seen. However, since you two specifically started chasing after Cassandra, I'm going to say she has a bit of a lead on you, just enough of a lead to direct what direction you guys are going, just like you were before in the building you were just in. So Cassandra, make a. Actually, no, I'm not going to make you even roll, because you just succeed. As you are peering into your environment, knowing that the airship is the finish line, you start to smell something so sweet, and your mouth begins to salivate so much that unconsciously you let a little bit of it drip out of your lip, and the sweetness only smells so familiar because it is the exact smell of the gentleman Arthur you had met just hours prior. You currently do not have eyes on him, but you smell him, and he's at least within 100 feet of you. And I need you to roll another wisdom saving throw at disadvantage.
All right, Captain.
Uh-oh.
Damn, I got a nat 20, and then I got a 10, so I got a 20.
Cassandra, the whiff is just too inviting, and your direction, although it will allow you, it makes you veer off from the goal. Ultimately, you can make it a loop around to make it back. And right as you are speeding, hasting through, you can see like the snowflakes that are making it past the barrier above the campus are frozen in the air as you're running past because of the speed at which you travel. Zaphreal and Engless, this is quite the feat for Zaphreal. Really cool that you're not using like spells.
No, right.
I actually still outspeed them with haste.
Okay, but for the narrative, can we have it as I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
All right. You guys are following after Cassandra, and you see her take a pretty dramatic right degree turn as she darts off, and you see that she goes through an alleyway. You guys assuming that this is the most inconspicuous part. Right as you dash into the alleyway, the sun completely drops behind the horizon. And at this particular point in time, although it was snowing for most of the day, you see that the clouds are now starting to sort of widen up, and the moon in the sky is a very strong crescent as it shines brightly down below. You dart into this alleyway, and Cassandra, I'm going to give you like maybe 1 or 2 moments before the other two catch up to where you're at. But right as you stop, you see Arthur lying down in a kneeling position, and he's baring his neck as he looks up to you, and he takes a razor blade as he sort of slits his neck open as he looks to you. Is this what you? This is what you want, right? And he kind of snorts.
Oh my!
Hold on, not yet.
She can like she's standing up and she's looking down, her eyes wide as her smile is just so monstrous that she's like just.
He just looks up to you, and you see his like lips quiver, and despite whatever sort of like dynamic there is in this relationship, you see Arthur very much like conceding to your presence, and very like I don't know. he's simping pretty hard right now, to put it lightly.
Uh,
Before you say anything,
Okay.
at which point you hear vroom vroom. You don't look because you are too fixated on the blood. You watch as it starts to drip. As his heart beats, you watch it drip out a little bit more with the beat, and it's now starting to soak part of his robe. About 15 feet behind you, you hear the boom boom. Endless and Zaphreal, you are bearing witness to the scene. What do you two want to do? And then I'm going to move it back over to Cassandra.
Because I outspeed by so much, can I react to this?
No. This is how it's going to work. You two are going to be up, like, you come upon this, and I'm going to say you get the tail end of him saying, "Is this what you want?" As he cut, and you see him cut his own neck. And now you and Endless get something to do before I move it back to Cassandra.
Can
And-
we, like, in our speed, grab her and just take her with us?
That's actually more along the lines, but I have an actual ability to use.
Oh,
oh.
Tell me what would you like to do?
I see this and flash back to not 5 minutes prior, the instinct that I had to look at Cassandra. Or I'm gonna channel my divinity to activate Peerless Athlete. I will. Let's see here. Hold on. Sorry. Where's that? Okay. As a bonus action, for the next 10 minutes, I have advantage on strength and athletics checks. Athletics and acrobatics checks. I can carry and lift and drag twice as much weight as normal, and my long jump and high jump increases by 10 feet. This extra distance costs movement as normal.
Okay, so this is how I'm going to handle it. Both you and Endless look at each other and dash forward with your immense speed. And as you are about to grab, before I resolve this athletics, this grapple check, Cassandra, tell me what you were going to do and see what gets interrupted. Or, well, maybe not gets interrupted if you beat their check. So tell me what you would like to do.
She was about to, like, basically just like a fucking feral animal. She basically launches herself almost full fucking force at this kid kneeling.
And he just like, please, and he just like sits there terrified but also exhilarated. And right as she dives forward, you can hear a hiss just echo through the alleyway as you are scooped up. Since you both are grappling, I don't know how to. Let's do this. You both can roll your athletics checks, and whoever is the highest will be the roll that she has to beat with acrobatics or athletics.
Like that.
Ooh. This is fun.
Yes, I've been waiting for this part.
Insane.
Eat.
I rolled
Eat.
224.
Eat.
Damn.
Damn. Endless?
Goddamn.
Eh.
That's been. Damn.
Is that-
Alright,
Cassandra?
Oh yeah.
Cassandra, I need you to roll either athletics or acrobatics, and your DC is 24.
No, I made a 13.
Feed.
So, right? Oh,
Can I describe?
Yeah. In fact, maybe the reason why Endless failed was not because his grab wasn't true, but because you are faster.
Zaphreal kind of looks at Endless, and then like strides forward just that extra step, and right as she's about to bite in, he latches his forearm into her mouth and jumps up into the sky.
Oh!
Oh.
Oh!
Oh.
So you're going to let her do it?
Yeah.
Okay. At this point, if you wouldn't mind, Dre, I'm going to take some narrative control of what happens.
Take it.
So,
if there's a nearby rooftop, that's about I can jump 70 feet.
okay, so as you just leap and you just hear, "Wait, don't go!" As he kind of holds his neck now that there's an open wound. Endless, you like look at this poor bastard as you speed off and make your way up this roof that Zephyr had jumped onto, and as you are flying through the air, you feel very much aligned with Cord and how you acted in that moment. And it's just enough to sort of dull the instant burning, sucking pain as Cassandra, you've tried his blood once before, and he told you it would never happen again. And as you sink, not realizing I'm going to give you a little bit of an out because of the state of hunger you are in, and the immediate presence of the arm. It was go time. Not even maybe realizing it was Zaphreal, but two gulps in, and you are enthralled with a sort of like dopamine increasing like feeling, and you notice. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. She like just from just the sheer amount of how scarred she was. She like grabs his wrist and his like just below his elbow as she just sinks her teeth in as hard as she can, almost sounding like a rabid animal. And she is not stopping.
Right as you land, Zaphreal, quickly moments after, Endless shows up, and Endless, you see this, and Zaph, although you're maintaining your stoic composure, it's like you're not in danger of your life, but it's going to be very important that you get her off your arm as soon as possible.
Zaphreal, like realizing the urgency of both situations that they're in, decides that they need to get out first. Zaphreal pops into a rage, and though you may not be completely fully conscious, Cassandra, your head gets like squished in instant muscle burst as like Zaphreal just continues jumping across rooftops.
Increased blood flow.
And she's not stopping. This is like the tap water just went to a whole
Endless,
faucet.
you're following after rooftop in your hasted form. Zaphreal land about a half a mile away. You can see the air tower in sight. You might need to do something more violent, or she's not letting go. And after you go to jump again, you all get maybe within 100 feet of the air tower, and your vitality at this point is starting to be affected. Zaphreal, you need to act. In fact, Endless, you're going to notice Zaphreal's sluggishly starting to sort of like not perform as well, despite his efforts. What would you like to do?
Yeah, hang on. Hold up. 5 seconds. I just need to look up something real quick. I don't know if. Hang on. I'm going fast.
This feels more like an Avengers moment. Stupid book.
Okay.
Stupid bug.
Stupid butt.
Okay, so I found a couple different things. I guess it really just depends on what you decide you want to go off of. But Engless wants to, in that second, cast conjure animals,
Okay.
and we're going to conjure a leopard. Because as long as I'm hasted, the leopard is hasted as well.
Okay.
And that motherfucker going to be moving at like 3 times the speed Engless can.
Okay.
And
Gonna
Engless-
have her rip her off.
yeah.
Okay, so right as you are speeding through the campus, you start to conjure your hands together, and this green cloud of fey energy starts to produce around you as it coalesces in a rough shape of a jaguar. as it comes to true form, I don't know how to fucking do the roar. You guys get it. And it starts to it instantly gets head speed on you and goes into an immediate tackle as
Can I-
it. Sorry, go ahead.
Can I do something to assist the Jaguar?
Sure, go ahead.
Realizing he doesn't have this vitality to last, and seeing the approaching creature, Zaphreal taps on a power he's not used yet. He calls upon Horde once more with his clerical divine. Fuck, what's it called? My clerical.
Your
channel divinity.
Channel divinity.
I turn undead.
Oh.
I'm going to scare her off of me.
So, Cassandra, the second this happens, you like
Yeah, absolutely.
You repel and your tongue hisses out, and right as you were reacting to this, you get tackled by like a football player essentially, and you roll like 3 or 4 feet before the jaguar just like gets on top of you.
Oh, is it on top of me?
Yeah.
She's like putting her hands on the neck of the jaguar. She's hissing back, baring her fangs. She's going to do a strength check to attempt to throw that jaguar.
Sure. In the meantime, I need another grapple check from Endless or Zaphreal to continue to get Cassandra the fuck out of here.
I will go again, but restrain her by her arms this time, facing away from me.
Okay. The Jaguar, that was a 12. What did you roll?
I get to roll at advantage with Peerless.
Well, hold on. This is a Cassandra thing, sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Damn, the rolls are shitty right now, which is good. It is a 6.
So, you bare your fangs, and you even make contact with the neck of this Fey conjured animal, but it swiftly prompts a rebuttal with a swipe of its paw, and it nails you straight in the face, and it almost like knocks you silly for a second. At which point, who was going to grapple again?
I was going to attempt again.
Okay, and what'd you roll?
I rolled a 15 with a +2 with rage, so it's 17.
Okay, I need you to roll an acrobatics or athletics check.
Okay.
But this time I'm going to say it's at disadvantage because you're currently being being sat upon of a jaguar.
Either way, she rolled a 19.
And I rolled a 3 with a +14.
Don't you love that?
Would you like to make an attempt?
Me or who?
Endless.
Could we argue that it's an advantage? Because I was trying to grapple.
Sure, yeah,
as
yeah.
well?
I'll give you advantage. Why the fuck not?
Why
Okay.
the fuck not?
Well, the highest roll is a 23.
Okay, we roll now.
So right as you see Zaphreal fail to pick her up, he actually stands her up and gets her arms behind her back, but she's able to let go in enough time and nearly slashes Zaphreal in retaliation in this sort of 100 state. At which point you're able to sort of get her arms back behind her and continue moving forward. And after an exhausting 5 more minutes, you guys swiftly make your way back onto the airship. At which point, a little bit of a music change, maybe a nighttime thing, and everybody else, I'm going to say, is out on deck. And you all are accompanied by Endless, binding Cassandra's hands behind her back. I will say that your eyes have now returned to normal, Cassandra, and in fact, like, you may be feeling a little agitated, but the divine blood you just suckled from is gonna. You are, what's the word? Satiated.
Yeah.
She her black long hair is out of the bun. It's like an absolute mess that she's just like struggling against Engless, snapping in the air. Get off me!
Zaphreal is going to stand up from the barrel he was sitting on, walk up, his blood is still dripping down his arm. Wyatt.
Quiet or Wyatt?
Quiet.
Quiet.
Quiet with a Q.
Oh, quiet. Okay.
And in fact, I'm going to still say this. It might take you some time, Cassandra, but at this point, you are still not necessarily aware that the blood you drank was from Zaphreal, despite the way you feel right now.
She just hisses at him, bearing fangs.
Endless, I think it's time we get going.
I agree. Angus does not get off of Cassandra at any point.
She's still struggling against you grappling her.
Zaphreal signals down the captain.
You see Derek. Oh, wait, no. He's not the captain. But the captain is not present. He's currently sleeping. Derek answers your command. What's up?
We need to go back to home base. Urgently.
Angus looks up and says, "Now."
He looks at when he gets the command from Endless, he immediately straightens up, and it's going to be about at least 10 minutes. We can get out of here though. So
That's
real
fine.
quick.
I'm comfortable.
Real quick,
Mox,
everybody. Oh, go
seeing
ahead.
the struggle between Endless and Cassandra, he's gonna use his Curse of the Bloated Agony. More flavor, but meta-wise, it would give disadvantage on strength and dex checks for Cassandra.
Okay, so
basically
Cassandra,
causing her to lose her ability to kind of break free.
Cassandra, though your strength is about you, to try to move in this moment, and you recognize this. You don't recognize the feeling, but you seeing Mox make some sort of motion towards you, you realize you're now have a curse upon you, and you feel very sluggish. Real quick, everybody. Is everyone down to continue for just a little bit longer?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because I still have one little nugget I want to reveal before we do favorite parts.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Okay, cool.
Cassandra just bares her fangs at Mox and just goes, "You Cursebringer!"
Well, I'm pretty sure we established how this would work before we left Windshire.
Yes. And it's at this moment, though you are coming from the high of hunger, the more time that passes in these moments, the more translucent your mind becomes. And the second that Mox says that, you realize that you just had an episode, and you are coming to terms with the fact that something may have just went down.
She stops struggling a bit with English because she's still feeling frustrated. But she kind of just hangs her head there, just her whole body is just kind of hanging there. She's just breathing hard.
Cassandra, if I get off of you, are you going to behave?
She doesn't say anything.
With the silence, and you feel Angus just kind of nestle his butt back on top of your admin and get comfortable again and said, "Okay, I guess we're in this together, aren't we?"
Could we look? I understand there's high feelings here, but we at least take her to her room?
I'm not taking the risk of letting her up off the floor in this current state. I trust you. She's in good hands. Throg with me. I'm not going to leave her side.
What color is Zaphreal's blood? Is it gold or?
It's like a purplish.
Yeah, it's like purplish,
color.
right? Yeah.
Her entire
It was described that Zaphreal's blood is it's a godly type of thing, being a celestial, and it's not typically found on the prime material plane and seen as kind of a delicacy.
Her whole bottom mouth is just absolutely smeared in it, as she just has her head turned away from the group as she's just laying there.
after about 7 more pretty silent minutes go by, you begin to hear whirrings of magical arcane energy starting to bellow throughout the ship. And it's just moments after that the airship begins to leave the dock. You all begin to sail into the night. About the time you leave is around 7:30, and um, with the clear night, it's a pretty cold, but uh, there's not a lot of turbulence, and we'll say about 30 minutes or so go by, and it's at this point, Cassandra, you are now off of the come down. You feel whole again. And whether or not Endless is still on you is up for debate, but you just see the construct, however, standing at the bow of the ship, just like gazing out into the world. And for those who are perceptive enough, you can see that a small ray of projected light is being shot out of the construct's eyes into the environment, almost as if he's standing.
Throg will probably join the construct, not being very emotionally intelligent, but beforehand will just kind of hand a rag to Cassandra to wipe her mouth off.
Yeah, the more and more calm that Cassandra got to a point where she wasn't a threat, English would have gotten off her and helped walk her to her quarters and just made sure that she was okay.
She'll just be kind of like sitting on her bed with her knees to her chest and her head kind of like her face kind of hidden as she looks very disheveled, holding the bloodstained rag.
Yeah, English is gonna are you like sitting up on your bed with like your knees like up
Yeah.
to your chest? English would have climbed up next to you.
She'll lean into you.
He lets you.
Check messages.
Zaphreal is... He didn't ever leave the deck. Still, whether it's out of stubbornness or out of a way to release any type of negative emotions, has refused to heal his arm.
Yeah, and you notice almost immediately a gnarly dark blue purple bruise beginning to form around your... I'd say she bit you around the mid forearm.
Yeah. I let loose a very high-pitched whistle and dive off the ship. Meldrin just catches me and we tail. Just at a cruising pace.
Yeah, just tail for a while.
I share my mixed feelings and emotions through our empathic link, but we say nothing.
The only thing that I will add to that is Knowledgerin, without speaking to you, gives you the empathetic feeling that despite how hairy that situation sounded, you did the right thing.
Zaphreal does not give any kind of sense of response, but he does give a sense of appreciation and Knowledgerin. You just take control. I will be in my thoughts.
You just hear him roar, a mighty lion roar, as he jumps up several feet in elevation and begins to climb higher and higher. And as you pierce into one of the clouds, a manifested cord lightning bolt strikes through, and you take the energy of that lightning bolt and use it to temporarily boost the speed of Knowledgerin as you soar through the sky. Mhox, you look like you were going to say something.
Yeah, so Mhox would kind of interact with the construct, but kind of eyeing Cassandra's cabin wagon. I think it's her wagon on the deck, right?
Yes.
He would make a point of not going below deck
until he sees Endless leave the wagon. He's kind of on that. He's trying to trust, but a lot of trust just got burned.
Right, gotcha. I'll say this. As you approach the front of the ship, you see Throg kind of just like, leaning over the edge, maybe making some peanut gallery comments. And the immediate first thing you notice, Mox, is specifically around where the chip would have been, because it had closed up, and since then it's like seamless. So it's hard to actually see exactly where it was. You can see in the metal, almost scribed with something very, very small. You see scrawling around in a very radial manner that specifically matches the characteristics from the book that you found the coordinates from.
I will say, if Mox even notices, Throg's hand is like shaking as he has it like over the side. He's just
Oh, dude, I forgot that you were small. God damn it.
yeah, as he's like sitting on the side, like kind of kicking his legs. His hands are shaking as he's just making comments. It's a wonderful night, isn't it?
And he just looks to you.
Yeah,
And shakes his
I
head.
agree.
Yeah.
Throgger, are you okay?
You ever get those times when you really want to help somebody, but you have no clue what to do? It really puts in perspective of how little you can make a change in the world sometimes from different angles. I just hate to see another person that's, I guess, of the undead persuasion suffer.
Throg, if I've learned anything with our talks, is the amount of empathy you have is astounding. And to answer your question, I have that feeling more often than I care to discuss. But the short answer is, all we can do with the time that we're given is do what we can. Instead of trying to take on a task that we know we can't achieve, we focus on the little steps that we can achieve.
And for the first, or possibly last time ever, you get a little Throg hug.
Oh my god.
Aww.
Little Throg hug.
It's like little Gru.
Yeah, pretty much.
I know it's hard, but I think our restraint is what Cassandra will remember the most from this evening. And that instead of condemning her on sight, we're giving her a chance.
Yeah, that's true.
The construct turns around to you, Mox, and he just like cocks his head, trying to like, because he cannot understand you. He looks at you, and just tries to read your body language. And he looks at you, sort of with his head cocked. Home.
I think that is where we're headed next. Whether or not it's your home, I don't know, but I hope that you can learn from us and that you can teach us.
Home. And he kind of like points out to the world.
Yeah, this is home, you know? You just kind of, you claim a little spot and you make it yours.
He just looks at you, Throg, looks kind of frustrated, and turns around and continues to scan.
Me too, buddy.
Me too, buddy. Oh my god. Throg, you get a fate point for that. That's great. Okay, so Fia, do you want to be doing anything in this moment?
I was just gonna say I was kind of floating, and I'm kind of in shock by the whole moment with Cassandra. I obviously like missed that. I just caught the tail end of it, but I was fully prepared to like chew Engliss out the next time I saw him, and then there was like all this drama, and I was like, oh, this isn't good. Not what I expected. And I think I heard that Mox saw something on the construct, so I'd probably be in that area enough to like if Mox was sharing that he saw that to I don't know. I don't want to impose on their conversation, but I would like to be like, I don't know, nearby in a friendly manner, I
Yeah.
guess.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I would say, kind of with everybody in the fields right now, grouping together makes sense to me. So whether or not it's before or after the emotional moment with Throg, I'd say Fia makes her way up there as we're kind of trying to make some headway with interacting with the construct. Yeah, Fia, the kind of what I alluded to while we were still in the tower was I'm almost certain this construct is from the Age of Solaris, based off of the emblem on its neck there.
Fia, as he pointed out, though it is small, you are able to get a close enough look, and the text, almost character by character, matches the book that you guys found that gave you the coded, if you will, coordinates for the Phoenix Temple.
I'd be very interested if the home that he keeps referencing is some of the coordinates that we have found.
And they very may well be, and I think even if it isn't, if we can form some way of communicating with it besides him stating home, may prove useful if we find said temple, because if there's any mechanisms inside it that are from the Age of Solaris, he may be able to interact with them because he knows them already.
I wonder if a past life of Quentin, if he could tap into that potentially, could speak to him.
There is a chance. One of the texts I managed to find, the one I brought with us, mentioned the first version of this being Callum, so there's a chance that that memory is deep inside Quentin. Whether or not he can access it is a completely different story, though.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Maybe seeing him or something will trigger some memories, and we can tell him about how Troxy used to be able to kind of tap into the Emerald Grove, see if he's ever experienced that.
At which point, the construct sort of turns around again, hearing the new voice, and he looks at you, kind of like with a sort of peculiar look, and he sort of stands you up and down, and he looks over to Throg in his tiny form. He begins to speak this mechanical gibberish, and in a completely different tone that you have heard just prior, Tesla, and he sort of like puts his hand on his chest.
Ah, your name's Tesla. He like slaps his chest, dog.
And he slaps his chest in response, but doesn't understand what you say.
Throg slaps his chest again, Throg.
Raw.
And he sort of just nods his head.
Throg does the same. I like this guy.
Maybe did it seem like he just recognized my voice to someone else? I wonder if he's
I think
related to Callum.
Yeah, maybe indeed. He scanned you and seemed to recognize you on site. And based off of how old he is, the only thing that makes sense is he knows the original Phoenix as well.
Interesting. Just for fun, I'm gonna try like just a little Phoenix thing and show him that I can do flame,
Okay,
and
so
just do flame in my hand.
oh, okay. I was thinking something more grand, but that if you want to just do that, that's
Well,
fine.
I guess I can do something more grand. I
Okay.
just didn't want to scare him.
So you're going to try and manifest the Phoenix in this moment, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Arcana.
go ahead and maybe just roll a spellcasting check. So just roll a d20 plus your spellcasting modifier. Seriously.
12.
12? Okay, so as you sort of like extend your arms out, flames from either arm shoot out in a small but controllable distance as a projected flame comes from your body above your head as it roughly forms the shape of a head and beak, and your arms extended out with the rain flames breathing from below them, resembling the brief imagery of wings, as you just see the light being shown right above on Tesla's body, and as he just scans you doing this sort of performance, he just goes, "Tesla," and taps his chest.
I'll do the same thing and say Fia, and I'll tap my chest.
Mhox.
Grog.
At which point, you begin to see his head, his eyes sort of narrow, and some calculating and worrying happens up inside his brain. Hello. As he sort of nods his head. You all, actually, Throg, you don't get to participate. Sorry, you're just not smart enough. If you guys want to roll an intelligence check, go ahead.
Dirty 20.
Okay. Fia, what you got?
6.
Oh no, Fia! We'll say by the time you get done de-manifesting the Phoenix, you're too distracted. But Mhox, though you are studying this humanoid's like behavior, and you get the idea that he is rapidly learning in real time, and is like more or less figuring out how to speak the language that you guys are speaking.
Well, Fia, the good news is the communication barrier that I thought we were going to have may be an easier problem to solve. It seems that he's learning real time at an incredible pace, I might add. We might be able to have full-fledged conversations with him by the time we make it to Windshire.
Show off.
Get it, you got brains. God.
Tesla turns to you, Throg, and just like kind of like nods his head and with sympathy and gives you a thumbs up.
Wow.
With that, we're going to start wrapping up. The last scene I want to do here is with Cassandra and Endless. So Endless, as you wait, did you bring your carriage, your mobile home with you on this trip?
I mean, I always do. It's always on the ship.
That's right. I forgot. All right, so you're inside of the mobile home, and currently, Cassandra's not necessarily sleeping, but she is lying there. And as the camera sort of pans back from Fia, Throg, and Mhox all interacting with this new character. It will phase through the mobile home and slowly pan and zoom to take you guys in center frame. And I'll give Cassandra the floor. We'll say that you're currently sort of turned away from him, and and Endless is sort of sitting on the bed facing away from you, back to back.
Actually, is it okay if we stay in the position that we were in? Because she was leaning into him as he was
That's fine.
kind of
Sure.
looking her.
Sure. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead. That's fine.
She just kind of whispers as her head's against his chest. She just goes, "I'm sorry for being a monster."
None of that. I won't have my oldest and dearest friend calling herself a monster. Remember, I kill monsters. And you, by no means, are a monster.
I was about to kill an innocent person, Engless, and then Zaphreal.
Would you believe it if I told you I've almost killed thousands of innocent people? I'm very accident prone.
She kind of almost laughs a little bit. She kind of like looks up to you. Her face still like very tinted with purple, and her lips. And she just goes, "You are very accident prone, aren't you?"
I am. I've also almost killed Zaphreal a few times. Purely by
Okay.
accident.
You kind of make her chuckle again, I bet. Thank you, Engless.
Known you for a very long time, Cassandra, and seeing you like that was the most fear I've ever felt in my life, and not because of what you were doing, but because I knew you were in trouble and needed me.
Blood tears start to kind of well up
Oh,
at the edge of her eyes.
they're tinted purple.
Yes. Yes, for right now they are a little tint of purple. She just looks at you.
Been through a lot over a very long period of time.
She kind of looks down for a second, then looks back up. Swat. We have been, haven't we? Mom and Dad always enjoyed your company, even though you used to not bathe as often.
Yes, I do. I do remember the family cat batting at the flies that always hung around me.
I'm so glad you changed your ways on that.
It's definitely a lot better. I didn't know such things could exist or feel so exhilarating. And once we get back, we'll have to have a spa day, or maybe we can even have Raiden take us out to like a small pond where he can boil us some water, because oh boy, let me tell you, that bath he drew me, heaven.
Put some bath bombs in there and some flowers, and it is. And she kind of stops for a second, and she kind of like looks at him and goes, "It's a date."
English just says, "It's a date," as you see him lean in and kiss Cassandra.
On
Oh?
what part of the body?
Oh, wait.
Whoa, hey, yo!
Not in such a way, but like this on the head, or are you trying to kiss her?
No, not where?
On her lips. He's gonna pull off a shoe and start kissing the bottom of her foot.
Wait,
She kisses
Work her
back.
way, work his
kisses
way
back?
up.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
Said that say there's a little Zaphreal flavor in there right now, currently, but
right as you meet lips and lips, it is so memorable of a feeling. And as you sort of cusp the back of her head, the camera will start to slowly pull out as you both sort of switch angles of the way you were kissing, and pulls out of the wagon as we see some of the Standing Bear members sort of talking with the newly named Tesla. As the camera
Tesla.
begins to slowly pan out and wrap around the airship, it comes to a stop as the airship starts to fly further into the horizon, just right before coming into full view of the frame, Knowledge riding and roaring in the distance. And that's where we'll leave off for next time.
yes!